Welcome to another edition of Unleash the Six. My name is Cam. Thanks for joining us. We've got some really fun topics today, but before we get to that, I want to introduce some of my guests and their reoccurring faces. I'm sure you'll recognize them, so I'll start from my right.
Hi everyone, I'm Carly.
Hi, Carly.
I am 26 to 27. I'm still not sure. You guys can calculate it. Our guess. Yeah.
It goes down every couple of weeks.
Like it fluctuates,
Yeah.
eh?
Before I was 27, I'm not sure, now it's 26, 27.
Yeah. So it's either 26 or 27.
What did you tell your fiance?
I let him calculate it.
So I'm sure he never tells you your real age, right? He knows
I don't
that
know.
too.
I'll just -1 from his. So.
Okay.
Yeah. And I am from downtown Toronto. I am engaged. My Instagram handle is its Asian Carly Girl.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Lola, and my handle
Lola.
is Lola Glam 788, and I'm more than double her age.
You sure of that?
Not really
She's
sure.
not sure,
I'm not
okay.
sure. And I live in the Burlington area, and I'm a registered nurse, and I like to dance.
Great.
Hello, my name is Cheyanne. I am from Brampton. I am 31 or 32. I help. Sorry. I run a dispensary. I do like their educating, marketing, assistant managing, administration, event coordinating, all that fun stuff. And
So you're a legalized drug dealer, basically.
honestly, yeah, I went back to my original roots. That was my first job in high school. Jumped right back through there, but I just went from legacy to legal. That's all.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Great. So let's get things started. I saw this video. Are you girls familiar with RJ Reynolds or Philip Morris? You know who these companies are?
RJ Reynolds, I've heard.
So Philip Morris is the largest cigarette manufacturer in the world, right? So they make brands like Marlboro, they make Benson and Hedges, Virginia Slims, and then RJ Reynolds as well. They're very big. They do Camel, Newport, and so on, right? Now, you guys know who Kraft is, right? And General Foods.
Yep.
And Nabisco, right? So, Chris, want to play this video for us?
In 1985, tobacco giant R.J. Reynolds bought Nabisco Foods. Tobacco pioneer Philip Morris bought General Foods, and 3 years later, Kraft Foods, making them the largest food producer in North America. And leaving the business of food in the capable hands of the same corporations who helped addict us to tobacco. Using the same tactics they used to promote tobacco, food companies set about peddling the entire planet a diet of processed goods, loaded with chemicals and additives, masquerading as food. This new machine operates with specific targets in mind, like addicting consumers, without them knowing it. 1985.
Now, first of all, did you guys know any of this? Is that kind of shocking?
Yeah.
Actually, a little bit.
You knew it? You knew it?
I didn't know that, but that's a little shocking.
A little?
A little shocking.
I had no idea. I literally had no idea that Kraft, and also, Nabisco,
Yeah.
and GF, General Foods, is owned by a tobacco company. So imagine when they started these companies, and they started making cigarettes, they realized that the number one thing in there to continue making money is to make sure they're addictive, right? So tobacco, originally the indigenous people used to smoke tobacco, but it wasn't addictive. It was all natural. So when the white man came in and they found this, they realized, okay, there's got to be a way for us to make money off of this. So there's so many addictive chemicals that are added into cigarettes, and that's what causes people to be addicted to them. So now they realize it's a multi-billion-dollar or trillion-dollar business. So now if they bought Kraft, like back in the 80s, this isn't like recent, this is like 40 years ago. So imagine all the products that you buy, that you right now have in your pantry, that are either Kraft or Nabisco or General Foods, and you think, oh yeah, it's okay, just a snack, my kids can have it, blah blah, and then you wonder why people are addicted now to these snacks, because once again they put addictive chemicals into them, and the Food Administration Organization couldn't give a shit. Like the FDA, they know of this. Like this was when a huge corporation decides to buy another huge corporation, they vote on that. They decide if it's going to be allowed or not allowed, or if it's a takeover type of thing, right? So they allowed it without even realizing that, hey, these guys manufacture a product that kills more people, aside from alcohol kills the most, right? Tobacco's number 2 for sure when it comes to killing individuals. And they allowed them to buy a food manufacturing company without any issue. Does that kind of make you think twice now if you're going to go and buy Nabisco brand or Kraft? Because I thought Kraft was like a good product.
100%. That's why, because you think name brand, right? It's been around for 40 years.
Yeah, they have Kraft peanut butter. They got like cheese and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure that I'm not saying that they've got like Kraft dinner.
Yeah, Kraft dinner.
How addictive is that?
Very, yeah. And all the university students
Oh
going
my
back
god!
to school right
Look
now.
how cheap it is.
Yeah, it's very cheap.
Like Chris, I'm sure you know what KD is, right? So it's like I remember you could buy like a box of KD for like 70 cents.
Yeah.
Now it's like almost $2 because of the inflation, whatever. But it is still the go-to for kids who are in college, university.
Yeah.
And that fucking cheese, that bag, I don't know, like it's like cocaine.
Well, I just found out too that it's Kraft and other brands, obviously, but the shredded cheese in a bag. Well, when you take an actual brick of real cheese and you shred it and you put it in a bag, what happens? It all clumps together, right? So what they do as a filler is they use sawdust, and that's what helps keep the cheese from not sticking together. And then from there, I went down this road. This is rabbit hole. This is actually part of the reason too I stopped. I started being a little bit more conscious with what was going in my body. When they started coming out saying like breakfast is the most important meal of the day. If you actually look into it, who is the one that is coming out with those studies? It's the breakfast companies themselves. Kellogg's, they're the ones that are endorsing these studies to show. So the breakfast is the most important part of the meal of the day. It can be, but it's not if you fill yourself with cereal. It's protein that your body needs, like eggs, bacon, that kind of stuff, right?
Cereal's all sugar, by the way.
That's all it is.
Yeah, it's all garbage. So there was a video that I watched where the CEO, I think for Kellogg's, was saying, oh, now because of the cost of groceries and all that, families should resort to having cereal for dinner.
Yeah.
It's like, how out of touch are you?
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So he's promoting, and then what they did was they raised the prices drastically for cereal. Because they saw a lot of people buying cereal now as a meal replacement. And then when they got backlash, they lowered the prices. But by now, people online caught on and started boycotting cereal. So, yeah.
I'm waiting for the cereal company now to come out with like steak and potatoes for dinner. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Steak and potato flavor.
And then like the milk it turns into gravy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That sounds disgusting.
I know, but I can.
But people will eat it. People will eat it. People eat anything nowadays, especially when they have to, cut costs.
Remember when we had green ketchup? Remember when they did that?
No.
Yeah, they did that. Heinz came out. They used to have purple and green ketchup.
Oh, there's a clear one too.
Yeah, yes, and it was for
Yeah.
kids. That's what I mean.
A clear ketchup.
A
Yes.
clear.
Ugh,
Yeah.
it's disgusting. So Kraft owned Heinz as well. And if you go further down, with these companies own other companies.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, there it is.
Clear ketchup.
Oh my god. What the hell is that?
That's.
It's like hand sanitizer.
Oh, yeah.
Or like tomato flavor. Oh. So I don't know, man. I mean, now that I found this out, when I go shopping, and if I pick up anything that says, Nabisco or Kraft or General Foods on it, I'm going to really look at the ingredients, in there, because anyone who's got common sense would not allow their children to smoke, right? And now that these tobacco companies, they couldn't give a shit about how badly they're affecting people, to the point that they did a study about 10 years ago, and they had realized that in the US specifically, these tobacco companies, when you walk in like a variety store, the ads for them would be down in the bottom. Okay, so as an adult, when you walk in, there's the counter, whatever, right? But the ads are below the counter, and they'd have things like Camel cigarettes with a cool camel, the Marlboro Man. Who are they targeting? Young children, right? Because the kids, when it comes to their eye view, they're seeing that. So if they're going to go to that level, I mean, cigarettes in the beginning, I remember, when I was younger, I used to buy cigarettes for my dad.
Yeah.
There's no age
Go
restriction.
to the store with a note.
No. Back then, you didn't need to have anything.
No. My dad had variety stores, the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember them. They were all behind me, and I remember all the names, actually.
And anyone can buy them. There was
Anybody
no,
can
like,
buy
I don't care if you're 10 years old, you can walk up and buy a pack of smokes.
Oh,
Yeah.
in my country, there is a age restriction.
Now there is, but I'm talking about like if you go back 20, 30, 40, it didn't exist at all. So now they've got all those like grotesque pictures on the cigarette packs, right? But I remember when I was a young kid, and I remember once I injured my knee and I had to get stitches, right? And after I got the stitches, when my dad came into the doctor's office, the doctor was like smoking, and he offered my dad a cigarette, and they sat down. They were smoking in the hospital with me sitting there. It was allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Like teachers were allowed to smoke in school. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, and you can smoke on planes.
Elevators, yeah.
Everywhere. Like there was no restriction whatsoever.
Hospitals.
I just said hospital.
Yeah.
I was in the hospital.
I'm too young for this.
Yeah.
No, so like I know that even on planes, they had like designated rows in the back, and they somehow thought that if you smoke in the back, the people in the front rows will be saved from secondhand smoke. So people were smoking while they're sitting. The plane didn't even take off yet, and first of all they had the no smoking sign on, and once it reached the right altitude, the sign went off. Everybody lit up.
What if there was how would I'm just curious, ADHD thought, but like, what if there's a person in the front with like those oxygen tanks?
They don't give a shit.
Person in the back smoking cigarettes,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
The whole thing with cigarettes is that these companies have so much money, so they do so much lobbying, and now that we know that they own these huge food brands, imagine how much shit they get away with in regards to quality of like craft, the KD, right? Craft dinner. To be able to buy that, you can still go to like I'm sure like Giant Tiger, buy it for like 99 cents or 80 cents. And they're making a profit on that still. Like with the cardboard, with the printing, with the packaging, with the cheap, they're still making huge money on that. It's like they're only making 2 cents on it. So imagine how cheap it is to produce. The most expensive thing in KD is the box. It's not the noodles, it's not the cheese, because that's not even real cheese, right? It's the box that it comes in, right? So
Isn't that like most toys though? Like the box is usually the most.
I'm okay with toys because the kids aren't eating them. This is like these companies, their number one target are children because they make snacks, right? It's ready to eat food out of a box or out of a can, which is the most unhealthy shit to buy, by the way. Like if you're going to be eating stuff out of a bag or out of a box or a can, it's extremely unhealthy.
But I mean, doesn't that also come, and I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't that also come down to like the parents being like also brainwashed to like, it's easier to just give your kid boxed food? Like back in the day, like it wasn't really like that. Like even when I was growing up, like yeah, we would get boxed food, but like we couldn't always afford it, so it would be like more like my mom would be like she would fill like our yogurt containers ourselves. You know what I mean? Like that kind of shit. Like
yogurt's one thing. Yogurt's not coming out of a box. What I'm talking about is if you have snacks that are in a cardboard box, like cereal, like that is the most unhealthy shit to eat.
But aren't the parents being conditioned to think that that's okay? It's easier to do that instead of making a whole meal. So shouldn't the parents be like, okay, who cares what the commercial says? We're not going to do this. We're going to sit there and pick apples and make an apple pie.
Well, no, that boils down to that they've made sure that our lives now we're so busy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're not. Like we really aren't that busy. We create all this unnecessary shit because of technology. Like we're on our phones so much and we get sidetracked on so much shit. But if you look at the amount of time it'll take you to prepare a healthy meal or a healthy snack, and the amount of money you're going to save, and the end result of your children consuming something that's actually very good for them health wise. We've just gone very lazy. So they made everything so like it's gotten to the point where people are buying like fucking, those like little containers where it has like cheese, crackers, and some
like
bologna.
Lunchable.
Yeah. Oh my god, who the fuck eats that? Like I wouldn't even feed that to my cat. Like that processed meat shit.
Oh,
Like-
I know a lot of like elementary school.
Yeah, the parents give it to their kids,
Yeah,
and I think it's healthy. Oh, it's healthy.
it's like a snack.
We used to fight over that in elementary.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
They had like some gross like dipping cheese
Yeah.
that you kind of like
Like the sauce. There was like
The-
a pizza one. There was like a ham one, a summer sausage one.
Oh yeah, but people still buy it today
Oh, they
for
do.
their
I
children.
never bought it.
What are they called again? What did you just call them?
Lunchable.
Yeah, Lunchables.
Lunchables.
Yeah.
And people think, oh no, it's got some meat in there. It's got some cheese. It's got to be healthy. Are you fucking crazy?
But and like here's the thing, when
Like
Lunchables,
it's manufactured.
but like touching on what we talked about last time on our last conversation too. But like, when Lunchables first came out, they were huge. They were weight to them.
Yeah.
Like now, pick up a Lunchable. Like 10 of them equals the same weight as what one used to. There's like 5 crackers. Before you'd get like a stack.
Yeah. Yeah, where the kid would throw up from eating all that.
Yeah, that
You
was
get
me.
full, then you get diarrhea after.
Oh, so
But it's-
Parents wonder
It's like
what's up.
cheaper if you like get a pack of like salami or like ham from the deli and then like get like crackers,
Cheese,
a box
yeah.
of crackers, and
Yeah.
then cheese,
Yeah.
and then put them in the divided lunchbox
Yeah.
by yourself. It's like
But you're saying it's cheaper, but the time that's involved.
It's work and
it's
effort.
2 minutes.
I know, that's the whole thing. So most people, because when you see the box, it'll say like 0 trans fat,
Yeah.
no artificial flavors. Like, oh yeah, this is healthy. We'll get it for a kid. But if you read the fucking ingredients, it's like 100 things. And like the cheese has got 100 things, the crackers have 100 things, and the meat is like it's mystery meat.
Parents want to believe that they're not doing this horrible thing that we are talking about right now.
It really has to do with, again, we talked about this before as well. When we elect government officials, their responsibility is to make our lives better in every area. And one of them should be, the food that we consume. And they don't give a shit. And why don't they give a shit? Because these companies, they're the ones who fund their campaigns for the people who get elected. And they allow them to get away with all kinds of shit. Like, if you look at fast food companies that are out there, like the amount of, I watched this one video and they were talking about Chick-fil-A, they're talking about McDonald's, and they're talking about a couple about Taco Bell, and they were talking about how just like the Chick-fil-A chicken burger, there are over 45 ingredients in it. It's like it's a chicken patty. How does that have 45 ingredients in it? 45, and most of them are toxic if they're not healthy.
No, and did you know Canada is, I think, almost #1 in Crohn's and colitis cases?
There you go. And then you wonder where that comes from.
Yeah.
And depression and all that kind of shit, because these foods are not good for you. But again, these companies get away with it, and people are buying. And even with the way that the cost of food is, like I don't know what the rates are here in Canada. I haven't gone to a McDonald's in forever, but like a Happy Meal or like a combo meal in the U.S., like a Big Mac, fries, and like a Coke, it's like $12.
$14.59 on our menu.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's insane. But if you go to a foreign country, if you go to China, if you go to some place in the Middle East, whatever, that same fucking combo's like $4.
And they have healthier options.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just shows that here, because we live in the West, we get gouged. They put up the prices like crazy, and the quality is just down the drain. I watched a video where a girl bought like a Big Mac, and she like took out the beef patty and she held it up, and it was transparent. That's how thin it was. You could see through it. That's how thin the patty was.
Wow.
This is now recent, right? I mean, there's so many things. There's a whole thing called shrinkflation, right? Where they have basically shrunk the product
Mm-hmm.
and are charging higher prices. Like Oreo cookies, the white cream inside is even less than they normally have. The chocolate chip cookies are a lot smaller and so on, right? So that's one thing. But then the other thing is that when you go to these fast food restaurants, they're giving you less but charging you more. So before the patty, and again, to me, McDonald's is mystery meat. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah. I actually know someone in his late 20s who moved to Argentina just under a year ago, and he's never felt better. His appetite is better. The meat there, he's eating a ton of their meat, and he's, I think, on no medication right now.
I believe it. I was in Paris for a little while, for about a month, and when I was there, even the biggest grocery store that I went to, when you bought products from them, like a brick of cheese was like this big. That it wasn't like this, like Costco style. Like everything is small. And why? Because it doesn't have the same amount of preservatives in it. Because it goes bad quicker. So people in Europe, they will go daily to, whether it's the butcher or, the bread store or the baker, or they'll go to the vegetable stand and they'll buy fresh vegetables or fresh meat every day or cheese and make it that day. Not like us, where we stock up on this shit and we make, like, I've got stuff that I bought from Costco like a month ago that's not even opened and still good.
That's still good.
Yeah. Because the expiry date is like 2026.
Wow.
Yeah, I think in Asia too, like when I went back for the summer or something, like to stay 2 months, like like the habit of like buying a bunch of groceries and store it in my fridge, like I did that when I was back home. And my parents, they would be like, why are you buying so many things and storing in the fridge? You can just go every single day. It's like right downstairs. Like you get fresh vegetables, lettuce, like you get fresh meat, like noodles, everything. Like, don't do that here.
Yeah. It's a habit, right?
Yeah.
So we hoard the shit and we buy a bunch of it. And because it's got so many preservatives in it, it stays fresh. Like there's some crackers that I bought from Costco, and they're like made of like, pumpkin shit, but pumpkin seeds, supposed to be healthy for you. And the expiry date on there's like 2026. 2 years from now. Like, come on, man. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, have you guys seen that video? Chris, if you want to look it up, there's a Big Mac and there's a timer to it. That they have a camera on a Big Mac and they have a timer running in the bottom. It's a live video where they have a camera on a Big Mac, and I don't know if there's fries with it or not, and there's a clock in the bottom that's just running. And it's been like years, and there's no mold that's going on this stuff.
Well, there's also a lady who back in the 80s, she bought one of the original cheeseburger combos with the original wrapping, everything. She still has that, and she gets interviewed every so often by the news. But then Burger King, loved Burger King to death for this one. They went to town on McDonald's. What they did in the 90s is they came out, I think it was maybe early 2000s, they came out with an actual commercial that showed we have less preservatives. Yeah, we still got preservatives, but we got way less. So they did what you did. They said they filmed, and it took like, I think it was like 48 hours before theirs actually molded. But they were like, yeah, this is how long it takes, but it's not as bad as McDonald's. And they actually came out. I love Burger King for that, man.
Yeah.
Eat with a king, not a clown.
That's funny. Okay, we'll go to the next video. Chris, if you want to go on the next one on the list there. This is a fun one.
When you're stressed, if a woman can talk about what she's feeling, what she's missing, what she's not getting, that will actually raise her estrogen level and her stress levels will go down. Now, if a man is stressed and he talks about his feelings, his stress will only increase. That's a big aha, because every time a man is stressed, he'll stop talking. And when he stops talking, women panic because they don't know different. And they want to go in there. What are you feeling? What's going on? And if he starts talking, he'll just feel worse and worse and worse. And if he's a little frustrated with her, annoyed with her, and he sort of backs off, he's mulling it over in order to let it go. Just like a woman would talk about things to let it go.
Does that make sense?
Total sense.
Yeah.
Well, why don't women follow this if it makes sense?
Because we don't realize it.
But even if you know, you watch this now,
Yeah.
and watch a week from now in your own relationship, that if your man is, a little bit quiet, like, what's wrong? Why don't you talk about it? Something I did? What's going on? Why won't you talk to me?
We'll still do a little bit of that, but if we've learned, I guess, that
Even if you learn, it's just
we
your
do back off a little.
But then
Yeah, but we need to talk.
two months down the road,
Yeah, we need
and
to
the same
talk.
thing happens again.
Then it turns into, did I do something?
Yeah, that's what I just
Mad
said.
at me?
Yeah. Why
And
can't
then-
you fucking tell me what's wrong with
Yeah,
you?
and then I can relate to this, and then I'll start getting like, man, you go on and tell me what's wrong, and then like I guess he'll cope with it his own way, come back and talk to me, and he'll be fine and be like, oh, I guess you just don't remember what happened 10 minutes ago. I guess you're just fine. Like I get that.
I find that women, what happens is that women like to vent about everything.
Mhm.
Like the smallest fucking thing. It could be like I was at a red light and the guy in front of me didn't move right away. Oh my god, I had to stay there for a while. And when I honk, he's still. It's like, who gives a fuck? Like what does that even matter?
It makes
I
us feel
did that
better.
once.
But I'm saying, so women will talk about. I was at the bank.
Yeah.
And at the bank, the teller that was there didn't understand what I was saying to her. I told her I wanted to withdraw $100. She gave me 10, and it's like, okay, and
On
what's-
my way here, guys, my Uber driver didn't take the highway, so I was getting upset because it's like an extra 15-20 minute drive, and I wasn't paying you an extra 15-20 minutes when I already paid $65 for one way. Okay, I'm not doing that. So I'm upset, and I'm like, I was supposed to call Chris, right? But with everything that's going on, I'm like, now I have no one to vent to. And then I was getting pissed off, not at the driver, but because I had no one to call to vent to about my driver not taking the highway.
So men, and this is to all the women out there, if your man is having a bad day, leave him alone. The analogy that I give is women, if they're having even if they're not having a bad day, they just want to talk all the time, right? They want to communicate. Like women are very social creatures, right? Men are more loners, right? They like to keep to themselves. They keep their thoughts to themselves as well too. So if a woman's having a bad day, her man has to be available.
Question regarding that thing. What if we have the fear that we don't want our man to feel like we're not listening to them or acknowledging that they're in pain? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to ignore, like, to leave them alone, but, like, I wouldn't want them to feel ignored.
So all you got to say is, hey, I can tell you had a bad day. If you want to talk, I'm here.
Yeah,
That's it.
the option. Yeah.
But what's better at that moment is understanding your partner's love language. So for a woman, she likes to communicate. She wants to be reassured that my man cares. He's concerned about me, right? And how my day went and so on, whatever I went through. She wants to see compassion on his side, patience, right? Understanding. A woman wants that. A man wants to be left the fuck alone. And the love language, make him a sandwich, right? Make him something to eat. Rub his shoulders, right? If he's watching the game, leave him alone. Go make him a fucking snack bowl or something, right? And then he's gonna relax. He's gonna calm down. And he's perfectly fine. Even if he's stressed out, just because he's not talking to you doesn't mean that you're not doing your part. Talking is not necessarily the solution. So when a woman is going through, in her, perspective, a tough time, when it probably really wasn't a tough time, but if she's saying it was, fine. Yeah, because a lot of women,
mansplain our tough time.
No, I'm sorry. So you know what? When women have, I think I said this before. So I was with this girl, and I'd gotten her like a really posh membership, an all-exclusive women's gym in Yorkville. Okay, and it was the best one in the GTA.
Generous.
Right? Yeah. So I mean, because I know she enjoys working out, and she didn't want to be distracted by men and blah blah blah, right? And after a couple of months, she complained to me. She's like, "Oh, the girl at the front desk is a real bitch, and she purposely gives me like the smaller towel, or a towel that's not fully dry, and she ignores me when I arrive there, blah blah." I was like, "Okay." I said, "You want me to talk to the manager?" No. I was like, "Okay, no problem." Again, a couple of days later, venting again. That same girl, whenever she's there, I hate going to the gym when she's there. She's annoying. She glares at me. She's jealous of me, right? Because she was really pretty. Fine, no problem. Okay, do you want me to do something about it? No. I was like, okay, no problem. Her birthday came up. So I bought her a new membership at a different gym.
Ooh.
And she freaked out. She's like, I love that gym. Why would you buy me a membership? So I said, you love that gym. You complain all the time. every time you go to the gym to work out, you have something negative to say when that girl's working. So I thought you hated it there. I was like, no, I love it there. I love that gym. I was like, what? So men will only vent if they're looking for a solution.
Women vent to
Just
get
to vent.
attention.
Yeah. To see again if the man cares, right? So a lot of the times when the woman's, you know, if a guy's got like a wife or a steady girlfriend and she's talking and venting, he zones out. He just knows, he'll just say a few keywords. Oh, really? Oh, no. No, wait. Oh, yeah, okay. But he's not even, like, it's just like fucking gibberish at that point. Because he knows that all you're doing is venting. So when a man is having a tough time, my analogy of that is a man will go into his cave. So that means when you know he's in his cave, leave him alone. If you go in the cave and go, man, I want you to talk to me, you're going to get burnt by the dragon. Yeah. But that's going to happen automatically, right? So when a man is talkative about what he's going through, why is he doing that?
Try to actually talk about his feelings and like try to get comfort.
Resolve it.
To make us feel better.
Resolve it. Even though I just said that, you girls still didn't get it. This is my whole point.
It took me a lot of years.
Yeah. I just explained that earlier on, Carly, that when men, the reason that men don't talk, he even said that, the reason that men don't talk about it is because in their own head, they're trying to figure out a solution.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're in their cave, they're trying to figure shit out. If they haven't figured it out, then they're going to come and possibly, depending on your relationship, he might call a buddy instead of talking to you about it, right? A guy could be driving home from work and his car's making some rattling noise and stressing the fuck out of him because it was just in the shop 3 times and it's making another noise, and now he comes home and he's pissed. And you're thinking, oh my God, did I do, like Cheyanne was saying, did I do something wrong? Why is he upset? Was he upset about what happened 2 days ago or 5 days ago? No, men aren't like that. Once it's done, once you resolved it, they move on. So now he's stressed out. He knows if he's going to talk to you about a rattling noise that his car is making, you're not going to be able to relate to that. You're like, what? Why are you stressed out about that? If your man told you, oh, my car is making a rattling noise and I'm pissed because of it, you're like, that's not a reason to be upset.
Most females would be like, that's fine. Mine's been doing that for like a year. It'll be fine.
Yeah, what's the big deal?
Is it like a rah 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 or is it like a brr? It's like, you know it's getting bad when it gets to the brr stage, so you're fine, so you get there. Like,
so a man will try to figure out what the problem is. He'll go online, do some research. He'll talk to the mechanic, or he's going to call a buddy of his that they know about, you know, they talk about cars all the time. And he might give him some suggestions. And now he's going to feel a bit better if he's got options. Now I'm going to go, I'll try option A, B, C to repair it. I'll do it on the weekend, right? And now he's going to come out of his cave, he's okay. And then a woman's wondering what happened. Why is he in a good mood again? But yeah, this is the reason why. So women have to understand that if a man is stressed out, just let him know, hey, babe, I'm here for you if you want to talk. You want your space? No problem. But that doesn't mean if he's in the living room, you go up in the room and close the door, because now he's thinking you're ignoring him. You're upset because he's stressed out. No, like, again, understand love language. So there might be something that he likes. Maybe make him a coffee, maybe make him a sandwich. Like I said, rub his shoulders, just sit down beside him. Have to talk. But women have a really hard time doing that. Am I right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Even after this, I can guarantee to whoever's watching this video, women are like, okay, I'm going to try that. And then 2 weeks later,
Go back to
being the way they were, and they'll get upset at the guy. Like, what's wrong with you? Why won't you talk?
We forget.
Yeah.
Because honestly, we need to vent because we feel better.
Yeah, see, but when you're venting, you're not looking for a solution.
No, we just want to reduce our stress.
we want to be validated with what we're saying is right. That's what we want. That's what we vent. We want somebody.
You want someone to say that your feelings are right.
Right. You want.
You're
We
allowed
want
to feel
to hear
the
somebody
way.
go. You know what? I would do the exact same thing.
Yeah,
That's
I understand.
what
I
we
understand
want.
why you're upset. Whereas a guy can't. A guy doesn't get that.
No,
Like
they
it
don't.
just,
They don't. Yeah.
it's not a reason for you. Like if you're venting about something, it should be because you want to find a solution. If you're not looking for a solution, why are you venting? But don't get me wrong, guys will a guy might have, you know, an a-hole as a manager, might go, I hate my boss, right? But he's not going to go on a rant about it.
No.
He'll just say, I hate him, he's an asshole, and that's it. Because he knows he's got two options. Suck it up and deal with it, or quit and find another job. He already knows what the options are. So venting is pointless. It's not going to make it feel any better.
They don't overthink things.
They do in the area when it comes to, so the minute that a woman, so the example I gave about the gym, the minute that a woman complains to a man, the first thing he does is he puts on his Mr. Fix-It hat.
Yeah.
How can I fix this problem? My woman's complaining. How can I make her life better? She's venting about something. What can I do to make her life better?
Just like you did when you tried to help your friend with her gym membership.
Yeah.
You kept complaining. You're like, I'm going to fix this girl's problem.
Yeah,
You
that's
can't-
the only way. Because otherwise, I don't understand. Like, what if you're gonna keep bitching about something? Like, pull yourself out of that situation.
true.
So you're gonna be happier. No, but for a woman, that's just everyday life.
Yeah, like we want the emotional support, not like listening to you giving us solution kind of thing.
So, like for example, let's say Carly, if you go to a place get your nails done, right, and one of the texts there is just kind of mean,
Mm-hmm.
right? She's not friendly with you,
Mm-hmm.
and she rushes things, and you're not really crazy with the job that she does. I would tell you, if you and me were involved, you know what? Find it. There's another. I'll find you a better nail place. I found one here that's got 500, 5-star reviews. You're like, I don't want to switch. I like going to the place that I go to. Well, then why are you complaining? Every time you go there, you complain.
Because I just want to bitch around.
Yeah. So men have to realize, so the advice I'm giving is not just for women, men have to realize as well that when a woman is venting, she's just venting. All she wants is a lending ear. She wants you to listen. She wants you to show compassion, right? She wants you to show empathy. She wants you to show that you're attentive to what she's saying and that you need to acknowledge that her feelings are justified. If most men, and I'm just kind of letting the cat in the bag here, if most men were allowed to speak the truth when a woman is venting, oh my God. Because a guy would be like, what the fuck are you complaining about?
The worst
No,
is when we repeat ourselves,
Yeah.
like over and over.
I have
again.
That's what I'm
friends
saying about the same thing every
Oh, yeah.
2-3 days or every week. Because I go for hot yoga and there's a lady there that I just can't stand. It's like, then stop going there. No, I love that place. Well, then what the fuck? What do you want me to do about it? Oh, just listen to me. I just want to vent. Just listen to me. Oh, okay, I'll listen to you. That's the issue, right? But men, again, like I said, men can't speak the truth, right? They have to be considerate at that moment. So why do women need to vent? I need to figure that out. What's the reason behind this? Come on, we're all women here.
Yeah.
Like you all have bonus holes.
We need to know we're right. That's what it is. We need to know. We need validation that the opposing person, no, what, you're right. You're so right.
No, so you need to know that your feelings are right. Like the way that you feel is reality.
Yeah, but the thing is, our feelings could be right, but we could be acting the wrong way. And we still want justification about the way that we're acting is right because of how we feel is right. That's how we work. Well, that's how I work.
But even so, this is so confusing. So
Oh, yeah.
even though there might be times that that your feelings are not right,
Yep.
you still want to be validated.
I will find a way to twist it.
Make
so-
myself right.
Yeah, I'll make myself right.
Yeah.
I will make myself right.
So even if you overreact, you know that you're overreacting.
I'm overly overreacting because you obviously have not acknowledged me previously enough for me to get the reaction or the acknowledgement that I need now. So I'm going to overreact, so maybe I'll get some sort of a reaction.
And also, we don't want to feel alone. We
Yeah.
feel we have people on our team, cheerleaders.
Sometimes we just
So
want
now you want your man to be a cheerleader.
or we just want to hear it's going to be okay.
Okay, and
It's going to be okay. We'll figure it out.
no, but you don't want to figure it out.
No.
Well,
You just want to know that
They're there.
They're there and you're not alone.
So do women, and please be honest here, do women sometimes do it to test their man?
No.
To see, is he like being attentive to my needs?
I just sometimes have
my
verbal diarrhea. No.
No?
as somebody that's neurodivergent, oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
You're testing your man sometimes.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes. To the core. I don't want to, like, yeah.
Like I'm talking about, like for example, Lola. Let's say if you've tried to talk to your man a couple of times and he's not been very attentive. Will you now, when you are going to be venting about something, kind of go a little bit,
Push it.
a bit to get a reaction from him of being supportive?
I am known to try to get reactions. I like emotion and things like.
So then what Cheyenne's saying is right.
Okay.
That sometimes you girls will push it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I do
I will
push
push
it.
it sometimes.
I
yeah.
do.
And so now that your man acknowledges, because he doesn't have a choice, that your feelings are right,
Yeah.
how does that make you feel better? Like what is it that, like you were
When you're
saying, it makes,
validated, you're validated.
so it makes you feel like he's on your side.
Yeah. It just feels less alone, less dark if it's something that's upsetting you.
So I've seen like there are women, right, that will vent about things and blow it out of proportion,
Yeah.
right? Like make a big deal out of something and just to prove that they're right.
That's more attention wanting. Maybe the relationship makes them feel like they have to blow it up even more.
But you're going to tell me that not all women do that sometimes?
I
Just
don't
because
think
they're
all
having a
the time.
bad day and they're pissed off, or they might actually really be upset at their man, but they don't really have a justification for it. So now they're venting and they're trying to see, is he going to be attentive to my feelings?
That's a possibility, yeah. I can see it happening.
No, it does. It does.
It does, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to test the waters to see, like does he,
Yeah.
he's been ignoring me a bit and I'm kind of pissed off at him, but I cannot really justify why I'm pissed off at him.
Mhm.
So I'm going to be, something happened to me today that I didn't like,
Yeah.
and now I'm going to vent about it, and I'm going to see how supportive he is.
We're more verbal, even from little toddlers, right? Little girls speak sooner than little boys. Yeah.
Well, like no, I can kind of relate in this sense where it's like if I'm catching it properly, like when Chris and I worked together with one of our ex-employees, he just recently quit as well. It was always like this employee was obsessed with Chris in like a weird way, like always flirting with him, and like I never noticed it until two customers pulled me aside and said, "Hey, does it ever look like this person's like flirting with your husband?" And I was kind of like, so I brought it up to Chris, and I was like, "Hey, like just to let you know, this has been brought to my attention, and I can't unsee it now. And there's things that I need to point out, like when we're in a conversation, this person will physically butt between us, cut me off in conversation, and then make sure I can't get a word in, and customers will walk into the store. Then that person's asking you to go outside and have a cigarette alone. And I'm stuck with customers, and I'm like, I don't think that's fair. Then I'm supposed to leave at 4:45, but then you end up leaving early to go smoke with the person, and then I'm stuck till 5:45, like explaining how I feel, and this continually happened. To the point where we would go home and I'd freak out and I'd be like, oh, I guess I'm opening with so-and-so today. Oh, are you guys gonna have your little butt call today? Like I would go hard. And then they started doing like Discord and stuff after work. So I'd hear this guy's voice in my in my house. Then I'd go to work and be like, oh yeah, like I like how you guys put like the bed in this way, in this direction, and moved it this direction. Or I like how you moved your couches this direction. And I'd go to Chris and be like, why the fuck does this guy know what our
Bedroom's like.
what our bedroom looks like, what this looks like? Why does he know things about my personal life that like I don't want people knowing? No. And like Chris's mentality is like, I don't fucking care. Like he's my boy. Like I don't care. And my mentality is like, stop. Like that's wrong. Like you don't see him leaving me out in conversation. You don't see him treating me like that. No. But I don't get that validation, so I'll blow it out of proportion, and then I'll say comments to him like, oh, like,
Trigger him.
yeah, I'll say things to him like, you may as well go print your front teeth, yell, you guys are twins, call each other chiclets with those teeth, buck tooth out in your mouth. Like, I will start saying things to get a reaction.
Yeah. I think some women are more covert about it than others. I don't think all women are like that. But I do believe that women, without even realizing it, when they're communicating to their man, venting, whatever you want to call it, they're testing the waters. Without not necessarily maybe testing, but they want that reassurance that my man really cares, he's concerned about me and my well-being, he's listening to what I'm saying, he's acknowledging what I'm saying. I think women need that. Whereas men don't need that kind of acknowledgement. What men need is to be appreciated. So it's completely different, right? So I think it's just important for both to understand each other's love language. So for a man, if you're with a woman, you care about her, she's talking about her day, you have to listen, man.
You do have to listen.
You have to. Like that's because that's going to give her security.
Yeah.
Right? That shows that you actually care. Right? And there might be some times where a woman might actually talk to you and there might be a need for a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then she knows that as well, that my man, that she might, the example I said about the girl could be driving the car and come home saying, hey babe, there's like some rattling noise in the car. And a man loves that. Like, keep that in mind. Your man loves to fix problems. They absolutely love it. So some women, I've seen videos on it where they will purposely kind of play dumb with certain things just to ask their man what the solution is. And that makes the guy feel good because that makes him feel like he's taking care of you.
Yeah.
So, and then for women, if your man's having a bad day, if he's not talking, it's not because of something you did.
Yeah.
He's going through something, he's a little bit stressed out, he's in his cave. When he comes out and he starts to talk, leave it up to him if he wants to discuss the problem or not. Don't keep poking and poking and poking because he's gonna freak out on you.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
All that rage and frustration that he has is gonna come out onto you.
Yes.
Right? Because you want attention at that moment, you want validation. No, leave the guy alone. Let him relax, let him sort it out in his head himself, and then he's going to communicate with you himself. He'll probably even tell you what the problem was. He'll tell you, hey, my car is making some noise. I spoke to my buddy. I'm all good now. I know what the reason is. So let's move on with our day. And a woman should let it go at that point. Don't poke and say, well, when I was talking to you, you weren't being really nice in the way you're responding. Like, fuck, like, let the guy breathe. Yeah. Let the guy breathe. Like, it shouldn't always be about you.
Yes, yeah.
Right? Sometimes your guy also needs you to be compassionate. Right? And you to be empathetic and you to be acknowledging what he's feeling.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that it must be done the same way you need it.
No, we have
Right?
different needs.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
So women, I think, kind of mess up in that area more so than men do as well too, but I think women do more because men will listen to women. Like they'll hear them vent, right? And they'll try to find a solution and they'll just move on, which is fine. But women are not very good at reading men.
Well, what about women that are grow up with all sisters and more time with their mom? It's not really fair. You don't learn.
Even if they don't grow up that way, it's just, again, it's in a woman's DNA. A woman's a more social creature.
Yes.
So they like to talk.
Yeah.
They like to talk about their day. So a small 2-minute story becomes like this 45-minute thing where it goes this way, that way, this way, when all it was is about her going to the bank.
The end of it, at the end of every conversation goes, where was I going with this again?
Yeah.
That's the end of every, where was I going with this again? Okay, anyways, back to, like,
Yeah.
that's every woman, honestly.
Because it goes from going to the bank to about Lucy's brother is sick, but Lucy's cousin has got whatever, a drug
But did I
addiction.
tell you that Lucy's
Yeah.
mom's brother was coming to town to watch her? Like,
Yeah, and it's like you're talking about you going to the bank. Like, how the fuck do I end up with Lucy's brother? Right? So that happens, and the guy just has to be okay with it. Women, because the man's not communicating, they start to overthink. And they get these thoughts that start ruminating in their head. Oh, maybe it's because something happened 2 days ago. Maybe when my mom came, maybe my mom said something to him. Maybe the food that I made, or maybe it's like, no, it's none of those. If it was any one of those things, he would tell you. He's not telling you because he wants to figure out himself. And once he does, he's going to be normal again.
Yeah.
Right? Can we put on the next video? This is actually, girls, watch this video. This has got some deep meaning to it.
Women make it such a big deal that they have to cook and clean for their husbands because that's so degrading and they're so above that. Yet the maids or nannies or cleaners that they hire, that they'll pay pennies on the dollar for to do that, that's okay. That's feminism for you. Less than minimum wage those ladies make. That's feminism for you. They will يتكبروا على cooking for their husband and their children. The food that is their sustenance, that's going to keep them going, should be made out of love. I cannot explain to you how اللقمة من إيد أمي, bro, ما بتسوى الدنيا. Like, it just بتسوى الدنيا, sorry. Like, nothing is worth that. And you are acting all high and mighty and above that, like you're doing God's good work, you know? But you'll pay a girl who left her family to come pay her crumbs for her to barely live on it and send it back to her. That's feminism for you, by the way. This is why I say I'm anti-feminism, because that's literally what feminism is, in a nutshell. And fight me all you want in the comments. I'll give you a million other examples why I'm against feminism.
I'm against feminism.
So what this woman is saying, and it's a completely different way of looking at things, right? You have women who are married, and they will, let's say if their husband makes, he does very well, he earns really good money, or they both work, they make really good money, whatever. They're feminists, but they'll have no problem paying like the lowest wage possible for another woman to come in to clean their toilets and their tub and their shower and their fridge and vacuum and pick up dog shit, whatever it may be. They're okay with that, but then they're feminists.
Wouldn't it be like true feminism if you only hired men to do that?
Well, most men won't do that.
Well, but like if my point is if you were a true feminist and you're trying to project that image,
Well, no, if you're a
wouldn't
true
hire
feminist, you do it yourself.
Yeah, or that, but you get what I'm saying. You're not going to hire somebody at pennies on a dollar, like
Yeah,
she
but that's
said,
what they
like
do.
taking somebody from their family and
Yeah.
then
Yeah, so that exists, especially like if you go to the east, labor is very cheap there, right? In the Middle East, it's extreme. So they get people from the Philippines and India and all that, Bangladesh, and they get these poor women who are married with children, who leave their homes to go to, whether it's going to be Qatar, whether it's going to be the UAE, whether it's going to be Bahrain, whether it's going to be Kuwait, and they work there, and they're maids in the house, and they get paid the lowest wage possible, like lower than the minimum wage that you find like someone working at a grocery store, and the woman's like a live-in nanny, and the lady of the house is a feminist, like she's all for women. This is your way, where you have these women coming from a poor country, making next to nothing, and they just are able to send back crumbs to their family back in the Philippines or Bangladesh. Even here it exists. Here, for example, there's a lot of Eastern European women, especially from Ukraine, that do housework now because they can't find any other jobs. So they get paid below minimum because they're being paid under the table. And they're coming into women's houses to clean their toilets, to clean their sink, to mop their floors, to do all of that. So the lady of the house doesn't have to do it. What are your thoughts on that? First of all, have you ever looked at it that way?
well, like here's the thing, two kind of perspectives on it. I'm not agreeing with it whatsoever. I'm saying that if your house is too big and you have to hire help to clean it, maybe you should consider downsizing. If you're a true feminist, I think you get.
It's usually not because their house is too big. It's
But
because
it can be,
the
or
woman's
if they're like a
too
working
lazy.
parent. If they're a working parent, like sometimes, yes, I understand maternity leave, but then sometimes you do have two working households, and it can be hard to work 40-hour weeks and then focus 40 hours on home.
We're talking more about women who don't work.
Work, right.
Right? Who are at home, they have a cook, and they have a maid, or they have a maid coming once a week who cleans the house. I have a maid coming in, right? Once a week. They come in to clean the house, right? But I'm talking about households where there's a woman in the house. The woman lives at home. She's a stay-at-home mom or a homemaker. And she has a Mercedes, and she gets her nails done, and she has a Louis Vuitton bag and the whole deal. And she has a maid that comes to the house. And she'll have one person who comes and cleans. She'll have someone who does cooking as well too. Or they'll cater the food. So there'll be some woman in her house that cooks food for them and then sends the packages over. So it's like, what happened to your feminism then? Like you're employing these poor women and paying them below minimum wage because most of them get paid under the table, and you're perfectly fine with that. That's fucked up. I'm sorry. That's double standards, right? And if you look, especially, I'm sure like you know that in Asia as well, in the Middle East. Oh my God! Like in the Middle East, the house, or even Southeast Asia, the homes will have like 3-4 servants, not just one. Like they have one person who comes every day to mop and sweep and vacuum. They have a person who cleans the toilets as well too. There's someone who cleans the kitchen. There's someone who does the laundry. They have someone who does the cooking. All of that. And they pay them next to nothing. Meaning they will always stay at that level. That family will never move up. So in places like India, they call them untouchables. So they have a 2-tier system in India. Do you guys know that? So in India, you have the Brahmins, which are the families that are considered upper class, And then you have middle class, and then you have a class that's called the untouchables, meaning no one touches them because they consider them filthy and dirty because they clean toilets and sewers and pick up shit all day. Okay? And these poor people, they're generation after generation after generation that do this work. And they never, ever move up because they never make enough money because they always get paid pennies to the dollar to do this kind of work. And most of them are women. And the women of those households that have money, they're okay with it. Like, what the fuck happened to your feminism now? What happened to you caring about your fellow woman or sister? No regard. Everyone's quiet.
Oh no, I'm thinking about that. Like my mother was a humble Greek immigrant, and who had nothing fancy. Always cooked our meals. They ended up owning a store. She still did all the housework. I've always had an awful feeling. I've never hired a nanny. I've never had a cleaning lady. It's almost like I think of my mother. It's like, if I can't handle this, and sometimes I would let the dust bunnies get bigger, and I go, it doesn't matter. I'll get to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of women I worked with at the hospital, they would say, oh, why don't you get a cleaning lady? And I said, no, because I actually ended up working part-time too.
Mm-hmm.
I go, I'm part-time, and why? And I just didn't want people in my house. Yeah. And I also felt sorry for them. Like
I understand if you're working full-time, like what Cheyanne
Yeah.
was saying, I get it. But if you're not working full-time,
Right.
and you're a stay-at-home,
Yeah.
and you've got the luxury of being able to hire these people, right? A lot of women won't bat an eyelash.
Well, my grandfather was in the Air Force, and he was stationed in Philippines, and he was stationed in Singapore. And when he went to Singapore, he was given a maid, one maid. He was given a maid. But my grandmother, and I love my grandmother, bless her soul. She looked at the woman and she goes, I can clean my own house. I don't need a maid. She goes, what you're gonna do is you're gonna enjoy the time that you have off when you're here.
That's
Do
so
whatever
nice.
you want, get your kids, bring them here, because it was a huge house, right? My grandmother was there alone. Bring your kids, you guys can stay because you guys are keeping me company. Because she was
Wow.
home by herself. So my grandmother treated her like they became best friends. And when my grandmother had to come back to Canada, it was the saddest thing. My grandmother said she felt like she lost a best friend. And she always tried to track her down. She always wanted to get a hold of her and find her. And we never was able to track her down. But that's how my grandmother was. That's how she raised us. Was like, my mom was a cleaner as well. But, you know, you gotta help. If you can do it yourself, do it. You should be grateful that you have arms and legs to be able to bend down and clean a toilet. As sad as it sounds, but there's people that can't do it, and if they can, they have to do special accommodations to be able to do things like that. So that's the kind of way that we were raised. And like Lola said, I would not want somebody going in my house. I'd be like, was my underwear drawer moved? Like, I'd be like, you know what I mean? I'd be like, was my jewelry
Yeah,
box moved?
these women that she's talking about, the women that are of the new generation, like, I'm not gonna cook or clean. You know, like, I don't do that shit, right? I don't have any traditional values. Like, what are your thoughts on this, Carly?
So, if you're like a stay-at-home, like you said, and like you're like rich and all, and you're a feminist, and then you have a maid, like, I don't think I'm gonna see eye to eye with you. But like, I used to have a maid when I was back in my country, like when I was young, in elementary school and stuff. But like, my parents are out like super early in the morning, and then they don't come back home until like after I went to bed. So like she's like staying in our house and then taking care of me, my meals, and bring me to school and everything. So like, that is fine, you know. But like, if you're a stay-at-home, like, you have so much free time, you go and shop and like do all your nails done, lashes, like shopping, and then just playing with your kids, I assume.
Yeah. Maybe not even that.
You should just use your time to maybe decorate your house, fix
Oh, no,
your
they'll
house.
do that. No, they'll decorate.
You
They'll
know?
spend the money. What she's talking about, and I think this is the part that I wouldn't be okay with either, is hiring someone to cook the meals for your kids and your husband, even though you can do it yourself. Again, if you're working full-time, I get it. But I'm saying, if you're a stay-at-home and you have all the time in the world, why would you want someone else cooking your children food?
I would be the type of woman, I swear. I would hire the maid, get her to clean everything, cook everything, tell her to leave, have my husband come over and be like,
Take the credit.
I'd tip her nicely. I would tell her I'm taking the credit for all this. You got to be up by 2 o'clock. You told me at 3.
Perfect.
That's it.
That's hilarious.
That's it. She'd tell me, okay, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna throw it in the oven 5 minutes before you get home. You're gonna put it on this degree. You're gonna tell them this is what's in it. How you make? Yeah.
Oh, I'm
man.
sure a lot of women do that.
Oh yeah, then you go,
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah. And again, you know, if you have the luxury where you can afford to have one, I understand maybe if you have someone once a week or once every couple of weeks to clean, like some of it, like toilets or bathtubs, whatever. But this is more about individuals where they have someone there full time cooking all the meals for their children and their partner, where they can be doing it themselves. But they have this, I'm too good for that. I'm not going to cook or clean. That's not my job.
And
right?
actually, housework can be exercise. Like I remember my mother ironing.
Yeah.
She was she was 4'11".
Yeah.
She was strong, and she would she put my hand. She was trying to teach me how to iron, and she put her hand over mine. She goes, "Oh my God! But you know, if you ever get married, they're gonna return you because you got to put more muscle into it. Like, what are you doing?"
They're going to return you.
Yeah, she always
That's
threatened me
hilarious.
that. Yeah.
Imagine using that type of dialogue today. Women would have shit.
Yeah.
Return me.
Let me tell you, okay. I hope the girl that we served at work doesn't watch this because she would come back and like hit me. Okay, we had a customer come in, asks our bud tender like about weed, and the customer says, "You know, it's good flour. It hits." This girl out of nowhere, her face goes, "You know, that's really triggersome for somebody that's been hit a lot."
Oh my God.
Right away, I looked at the wall. I said, I'm not even getting involved in this conversation because I have to be professional. It's customer service. I walked to the back. As soon as she left, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? We can't even say hit. Like, I've
Insane.
like, I was in an abusive relationship, and I know people get beat, and I'm not saying nothing against domestic violence. What I am saying is you can't tell everybody else to now restrict their vocabulary down to adjectives that describe a verb.
That's so stupid.
An action. Like, it's a verb.
Well, that's the same thing we talked about before about the word vagina. Right? Using the word bonus hole or front hole. Because somebody might get triggered. Like, fuck. Like, that's your problem, buddy. It's a vagina. It's a vagina.
Yeah.
Like, that triggers you. You've got issues. You know what I mean?
Well, I do feel like there are a lot of workplaces now that you cannot say a lot of things, like normal common words that you cannot say, which is insane. Like why? Like how?
You know, I don't want to play the devil's advocate, but I'm going to. It's because of you women. It's all because of women. I'm sorry. Women are the ones, we just talked about this earlier, that you want your feelings to be validated, right? So if you feel a certain way, you want your partner to acknowledge that your feelings are real and you have a right to react the way that you are. So if we take that one step further, now we have the trans community, because they feel a certain way, that we must acknowledge it. You used the word cheerleaders earlier. Who are the cheerleaders for these people? Women. Fucking no common sense man will acknowledge that and say because you feel like a woman that you are a woman. You want to feel that way? I don't give a fuck. That's my reaction. But I'm not going to validate what you're feeling. Women will validate that feeling.
But I'm feeling when you say this about women, all women, it just
Not all,
majority. It just feels like on our shoulders, all these issues with society. It's just getting heavy on our shoulders.
No, I know, but that's so. Women first complained about equal rights.
Yeah.
Okay, you got that. Women actually have it better than men. I don't care if people agree or not. Women have it better. I'll tell you how. When it comes to the dating scene, okay, what do women have to do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. They just have to look attractive, which they enjoy doing already. It's not a chore. They like to do that.
Half the time we don't even try sometimes and we're still getting hit on.
Yeah.
Like I'll go to work, I got greasy hair, track pants on, I got dog fur all over my black sweater, and guys are like, what are you doing after work? Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, not you. Like, a shower maybe?
Now, what does a man have to do?
Everything.
A man, first of all, has to figure out what women like, what they don't like. A man has to earn money. He's got to work, but he's got to earn good money. He has to have a nice car, right? He's got to pick you up, take you somewhere nice, pay for it, be a gentleman, open the fucking door, whatever, buy you flowers, understand what you like, what you don't like, what colors you like, all of that. He has to study a woman and understand what a woman likes. A woman has to do absolutely nothing. Zero. Every single woman can get laid.
Yeah.
Not every single man can. He has to understand a woman really well, and he learns by falling on his face, but he has to understand, what to say to the girl, right? How to treat her, what things to do, which way to treat her. Every woman's all complex in her own way, right? What she likes and what she doesn't like. He has to understand her love language, right? If a man was to be just like a woman and not give a shit, he's not going to get a partner. The men are the ones who have to court the woman.
Mhm.
So for women, in order for them to be able to meet a man, they just have to leave their room or their house. That's it. There's nothing else involved. They can meet somebody at work. They can meet someone if they wanted to within 10 minutes of walking out of their house.
This is the beginning, though. This is
Now, I'm very happy you said that.
Yeah, once you're in the relationship, women do have to figure out men. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
There you go. That's a very good point, because I was going to get to that. So men know how to court a woman, okay? And a woman can attract a man.
Yeah.
Every woman can. She can put the bait out and she'll get a man. I don't care who the woman is. All she has to do is just talk to a man. So if she sees the guy looking at her, just smile at him and go, hi. He's going to come over. There you go. You got a date. Nothing else has to be involved. Just if he's looking at you, you smile at him and say hello. It's an invitation. He's going to come and talk to you. And now if you want, you can work it out with him where he's going to take you out that night. Where the problem arises is that women don't know how to keep a man.
Yeah,
they can attract
exactly.
him. And why don't they know how to keep a man? Because they don't know shit about men.
Yeah.
Men know about women. That's why men can keep a man can keep a woman.
We can get it up, but we can't keep it up.
Oh no, you can keep it up too.
No, it was a metaphor. It's a metaphor.
I get what you're saying.
got it. Yeah.
You're totally right. So a woman is great in regards to getting a man and then having sex with him.
Yeah.
But after that, to keep him, good luck. Women have no clue how to keep a man. Why? Because they think that all he wants is the booty. No. Because if that's all you give him, then that's the only reason he's going to connect with you is for that. And that's where women who have traditional values will be able to retain the man a lot. They'll be able to have a meaningful relationship. So men have it way tougher. Men have to figure out all these things. They have to look after themselves. They have to dress a certain way, smell good, cut their fucking nails, brush their hair. Like, they got to do all this shit, have a nice car, go pick the girl up, take her to a nice place, pay for it, have their apartment set up really nicely when she comes over. If it's a pigsty, shake it. So he has to have everything ready. You know when, I don't know if you girls when you're younger, you play with Barbie, and like Barbie had her house and all these things. So a man has to make sure his place is all set up nice, his car smells nice, everything looks good. Because that's going to attract the woman, right?
That's good for him too, though.
I don't know if it's good for him, but yeah, in some ways it is.
Some ways, yeah.
But not to the extent that he has to go to court a woman,
Yeah.
right? Most men are not that much into detail as women are. Women will pick up on all kinds of shit. So if the girl goes to his house, uses his bathroom, she's analyzing everything, right? She sees his kitchen and the way he's living. So guys will make sure that they clean up their place really well and have the right things in the right place. So now the woman feels comfortable in that environment. She has to feel secure. So the man has to create all of that, right? So it's a lot more work for the man, right? And then that will also keep the woman. She'll want to stay with him. She's like, yeah, I like this guy, the way that he talks and the way that he treats me, and he makes good money and he has a nice place and I can see myself with him, okay? Mm-hmm. Whereas a woman, the only thing that she thinks that she has to offer is her vajayjay. Every woman's got that. Why are you so special? Every woman has that. So you're not giving anything. What makes you think your vajayjay is so special? Every woman has the ability to, like you said, to get a, what did you say?
We can get it up, but we can't keep it up.
Every woman can get it up, okay? And so I don't know. The problem with today's generation is a lot of them think, oh no, I'm it. I'm the prize. Why are you the prize? Just because, you have certain features and whatever, and you've got a vajayjay, so that's going to mean that every guy, no, every woman has that. What is it that you have to offer above and beyond that to keep the man? So back to the thing about feelings, women because you're emotional creatures, you do at times believe that the way you feel is reality.
Mhm.
Am I right, Carly?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So that's how you're able to relate to the trans community and you empathize with them. That if this person was a male before, so let's say Christian, next Wednesday you guys come in here and he's clean shaven, he's got a wig on, makeup, and he's like, I've always down deep inside, I knew I was Christina. I'm not a Christian.
I can't even
And,
straight face right now.
None of you girls would have I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Okay, no.
I'd have a
but
talk with you, buddy. Which
I
you girls,
I will have problem with that because
but you would not show that. If you came in next week, really?
I'll give him a
Carly,
face.
you'd be like,
Carly,
yes,
listen-
girl.
Sorry, listen to Chris. What?
You wouldn't support me, Carly? What the hell?
I would give you the face and then be like, okay.
No, in all honesty, none of you girls would be like, you know what? There's something wrong with you. You need to go get some help.
I'd probably burst out laughing. I'm gonna
not
be
not
dead.
in his face.
I would. I'd probably.
No, you would.
I probably.
Maybe you would.
I probably would because I know I'm an anomaly when it comes to this because I would have no filter, but I'd probably follow up. I'm so sorry. I was just startled. I thought you were somebody else. I'd probably backtrack with a lie. Why?
But then if you saw some tears coming into Christina's eyes,
I was like, let's go to the washroom. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's go talk.
and
I would give him styling tips.
I bring him nail polish next week.
you Cam's got some really good cream he can give you.
Yeah.
He can set stuff up earlier.
I would
He
be
has some good
supportive.
products.
Yeah.
And Carly, you would not say anything mean.
No, I would not in his face, but I would say behind his back. I'm so sorry.
But you'd be
but I
supportive though.
would.
You'd be like,
Like
"Wow."
in his face, yes,
Yeah.
but not behind.
So
his back.
that's
Sorry.
my point. So women, because you're just a ball of emotions, which again is super attractive to men. Don't get me wrong. Men, no, I'm not being sarcastic.
No, I know that. You love to fix problems.
No, but I'm saying men love women because they are emotional. That's the number one reason. Because you are so vibrant and you're so vocal. And
But
you're-
isn't that life? Like passion, emotions, like
passion again, I don't know if I would say a woman who constantly vents is passionate. Passion to me is a little bit different.
I was thinking a little different.
Yeah, so being passionate is something that it means that whatever you do, you put your whole heart into it, right?
Yeah.
And you're passionate about it. But I'm talking about just the way women are in general, right? Women are soft, they're vocal about things, they're emotional, they can cry at a drop of a dime, whatever. Men find that very attractive because men want to constantly save a woman. They want to be there, say, I got you. Don't worry, you're safe in my arms. I'm going to protect you, I'm going to take care of you. You got nothing to worry about. And women love that. To them, that's like, oh my God, he's a man, right?
Yeah.
So because you are so emotional, you always need to have your emotions validated. You need the man to be like, yeah, I'm not overreacting, am I? Like a woman won't say those words, but that's what she's thinking. And I was like, no, I understand, sweetie. I understand why you feel this way. It's okay, I'm here for you. Put your head on my shoulders. She feels so secure. So because you want your feelings validated, now we have this new movement that's taking place where women fought so hard for equality against who? Men. Now you have those fucking men dressing as women and taking over the rights of women. And women are applauding and supporting them. You see how messed up that is? The same sex you were fighting for equality. Now that sex had just said, I feel like a woman, so I'm going to be entitled to all of the stuff that you have as well too. And you're like, oh yeah, sure, come on over to our team.
Yeah, it is coming over to our team.
Yeah, but they're fucking up your team. They're destroying your team.
You might add in more flavor.
Oh my God, flavor. I don't know. I mean, if
So
you look
should
at,
we be mean or to them and be like, go fix your problem? Like you're not supposed to be one of us. Or
yeah, I'm not saying about say go fix your problem, but you're not one of us.
and then you're gonna get canceled.
Who gives a shit?
They're a hybrid.
And oh my
Hybrid.
God.
My thing is, listen, if you feel a certain way, I'm okay with it. Like for example, if Carly came in next week and she's now Carlos, and she's got like a fucking bob cut, and she has like a fake mustache on, she's dressed like a man, and she's taking, you know, the testosterone pills, and she's talking, hey Cam, can you tell me what workouts I should be doing? Like, so she wants to be a man. I'm all for it. I don't give a shit. My concern is two parts. Number one, when you're going to be affecting minors, where you're going to fucking butcher their body and chop off their breasts of women, right? And remove their reproductive organs, their ovaries and shit out of their uterus, out of their body, okay? When they're 15 or 16, or give them pills that are gonna fuck them up, that we don't even know scientifically what the long-term effect is gonna be. This is all new. This is a new world order right now, right? If you're giving girls who want to transition to be a boy in their teens, 12, 13, these fucking testosterone pills, we don't know what the effect is going to be 50 years from now on that individual.
It's probably all that fucking food that JP Morgan or whatever the JP Morris people are fucking feeding us. It's probably fucking with our, sorry, swearing, you're probably screwing with our brain chemistry so much. It's giving us, like...
It's not just that. It really is media. Social media is doing it, right? It's this movement. So I'm against, number one, that part of it where you are targeting children. If you're 18 and you're a guy today and you want to be a girl tomorrow, you're a fucking penguin, all the power to you, right? But because you're 18 and you tell me you're a fucking cat and you work for me and you expect me to have a litter and you're going to shit in there, I'm not going to fall for your fantasy bullshit. That's where I draw the line. Okay. You want to dress like a cat? Okay. But if you're going to force me to agree with you that every school should now have a litter box in the bathroom and your kids are cats, so they're going to shit in a litter, and my child should be okay, I'm not. I draw the line there. What are you going to say, Colin?
So my question is, like, you know how, like, after COVID hit and all these started, like, oh, I'm a cat, like, and stuff, like, where did this start? Like, who started this? Like, it's not just social media, because social media wasn't this bad before. It was bad, but, like, it wasn't this bad. Like, it started with, like, you know, the transgender society, and then now, like, it has, like, switching, it's becoming more and more and more.
It's mainstream.
Yeah, so, like, where did this start?
So this has always been around for the longest time, but what happened is when you have certain people that are that are in charge of society, for like government, okay, number one, or celebrities that people look up to. So you have someone like Caitlyn Jenner, okay? Caitlyn Jenner was, I mean, we don't know a lot about Bruce Jenner because we're Canadian. But in the US, this guy was like a fucking hero. He was like Superman. He won a ton of gold medals in the Olympics. So everybody knew who this guy was, okay? When that individual now becomes a female, that's going to have a huge effect. There's going to be a ripple effect to that, right? Then you've got mainstream government, okay? I've watched so many videos where they will talk to either celebrities, politicians, doctors, professors, and they will ask them a simple question on camera. What is a woman? And I'm like, well, that's a very complex question. No, motherfucker, it's a simple question. What are you talking about? What is a woman? Well, I don't know. A woman can be many things. No, what is the definition of a woman? And like you said, their fear is being canceled, right? Your job as a professional, if you're a doctor, you're a professor, is to speak the truth. Not to cower down because, oh no, if I say the wrong thing. No, scientifically, what is a woman? Not just me as a man, if I feel like a woman tomorrow, am I a woman? No, I'm not a woman. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm a guy. I believe I'm a woman, so I'm a trans woman. But I'm not a woman. I'm not able to give birth, okay? I wasn't born with a fucking vajayjay. I don't have the DNA of a woman. I'm a man. So my one part I already told you. The other part that I'm not okay with is when you have these people who claim now that they are a woman. Okay, great. Again, all the power to you. You want to dress like a woman. You want to put on makeup, shave your legs, take the fucking pills. You're over 18. You're old enough to make that decision. All the power to you. But once you're going to now affect biological women in the world in all different areas, I'm not okay with that. So number one is sports. I do not believe that a trans female should be allowed to compete with a biological female. We've seen that proven over and over and over again. It's completely unfair. I don't care how many pills you took. Doesn't matter. My lung capacity is greater than all of yours. An average man can pretty much beat up every woman. He could be a scrawny, nerdy guy because the amount of rage that he has in him, his testosterone, when that goes off, a woman cannot match it. I don't care how many pills she's taken. So I draw, and that's what's happening now. So women, like you were saying, you know, because I was saying earlier that women are the ones who cheerlead for these people, you are actually cutting off your nose to spite your face without realizing it. Women think, oh no, if I'm being supportive, it's because, you know, I am that type of person. I support everyone. And if that's how that person feels, we should be nice to him. No problem. But then where do you draw the line? That's where the issue comes in. And then if I was to say that, okay, from now on, you must refer to me as YH, Your Highness. And when you see me, you have to bow. You're like, oh, you're being ridiculous. I'm being fucking ridiculous? That's ridiculous?
It's hard to know how to deal with mental health, though. So you don't want to, like, if somebody is so unhappy that they have to do something like this.
Well, that's what I was gonna say with what Carly said. Like, I think it's like escapism when you're stuck in your apartment or your house with COVID-19, and those little things that gave you like little relief throughout the average day, hustle and bustle, work, whatever. Like, that's where I feel like, you know, furries and stuff.
I don't think they're all like that.
Not all.
You know, in my opinion, majority, sorry to say, and this is what Caitlyn Jenner had said. So they had interviewed, Chris, if you can try to find this interview on Fox News with Caitlyn Jenner, where Caitlyn Jenner was spoken to about a sorority, I forgot in what state, but there's an all-girls sorority, and this one student who was a male before, this year claims a female, and the sorority was forced to accept him, or her now. And all the girls who were part of the sorority stopped going to the sorority house. And they banned all of it. They said, we're not going to any activities, and they're getting into trouble with the school. So they spoke to Caitlyn Jenner about this, and Caitlyn Jenner said that this person is a pervert. Well, then what are you? Who are you to say that this person's reason is because he's a pervert and that your reason is genuine? How do you know that? That's fucked up, right? So I think a while ago we talked about the NHS, the nurses in the UK, where they had a guy that's there who became a female, and then he was openly telling these other nurses he's trying to get his wife pregnant.
Yeah, I remember.
But he claims that he's a female, so he's allowed to be in the female locker room. And he kept on telling all the nurses, why are you not getting undressed? What's the problem? And he's walking with his dick out. Remember we talked about this?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is what happens. The minute that you, again, women, like, I know as a man, if Carly became Carlos, like me and Carlos wouldn't be hanging out.
I just like random ADHD.
We would go for drinks or go play pool or go watch a game.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, that just wouldn't. I'd be kind of like, you know, a little bit weirded out because I know Carlos has a JJ.
But like, okay,
So
in theory, with all this stuff that's coming out, pronouns, gender, whatever, is it then technically like frowned upon to have like a gender reveal? So if we are doing gender reveals, shouldn't we be putting every flag into
God, please stop saying this. You're
no,
feeding
because
the
you
monster.
can't. How do you know you are if that's the case, you're determining your child's gender before they're able to determine. That's not fair.
Oh,
Like,
well, there's
that's
already
not fair.
people who oppose that.
Oh, that's not fair. So let them. You know what? So it should be no more gender reveals, and
Yep.
it should be if we are. It should be your baby could be a pansexual.
Your child will decide that.
Yeah.
That's what people are doing.
Stop being gender reveals for your selfish reasons.
Let's watch this video. Is the video? Yeah.
He is a perverted, sexually deviant male. I'm sorry, Artemis Langford, you're not a woman and you do not belong in women's spaces. I was listening to Fox News the other night. Clay Travis, I think, put it just perfectly. He says, living in this woke world, equality really, really has become inequality. And it's so true because the women are not being protected here.
Oh my God.
That is a
The
shame.
fact that they invited
I've been
her
fighting this
to
woke world
speak
for
about
a
this.
long time. Obviously, in sports, we know how that's been going for the last couple of years, trying to protect women's sports, and now in a sorority. And you got to fight back all this BS every day, tooth and nail. I mean, let's look at this. You know what? If you look at the
Pause that. This person
Insane.
is the pot calling the kettle black.
Well, he's probably convinced he's the real deal, a real trans
Who says who?
woman.
Like, is he like the president of trans? Who the fuck is he
His
or
voice
she?
is so.
No, but I'm saying, do you not see the hypocrisy here?
Oh yeah, that's very.
Who is Caitlyn Jenner to say that this individual is a pervert and not really a woman?
That's very confusing.
Yeah, and then talking about the sports, like, who are you? Who said you're the grand poobah of trans people? First of all,
Well, you know this. I do not like her. I'm not even a fan, but I'll give her this. If she's gonna advocate, at least advocate and do something right, and make sure that when it comes to something like sports that you're so serious about, that there's a different group.
no.
But you get what I'm saying?
I know, but what we're talking about here is basically like having an individual who's a junkie and on drugs, okay, and then pointing the finger at somebody else who's doing drugs and say he's not really addicted. What? Oh, I'm really addicted to drugs. I need help. He's faking it. Who the fuck are you to decide that?
Like, what? Why do they think it's a good idea to invite him, her, to talk about this person that's a guy that goes into sorority as a girl?
Yeah, I know. Like, as if he's like the moral compass of what's trans and what's not. It's the hypocrisy is like so deep here. It's absolutely like, it's like me suffering from mental health and then saying that Cheyanne, she's not suffering, she's a faker.
Well, no, and I get that.
Who
but
are
I'm
you?
just saying,
Who are you to know that?
I could see her turning around specifically being like, "Well, I'm advocating for them," and I get that. I get the
But if you're advocating, but you're also
do
part.
something right.
No, but you're also part of the problem.
100%. So that's what I'm saying. Do something right and don't be a part of the problem.
You cannot be a part of the solution if you're part of the problem. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. You're the one who is promoting the specific lifestyle. You're expecting everyone to accept your feelings and your lifestyle. Now, if somebody else is deciding as well to be a part of that lifestyle, who are you to say, no, that person's not genuine? That just shows that you're not fucking genuine either.
Do they, okay, my question is, and this is genuine to actual trans people as well, do people with the surgery that have had the surgery, do they consider themselves like fully female now, and then the people that haven't? No. Is there any correlation?
No, there's no like, oh, I'm a fucking quarter burger, he's a half burger.
No, like after you've had the surgery, can you now say like, no, I'm a real woman?
No. A person who identifies as a female doesn't have to have had anything done. I identify. That is it. I can right now say I'm a female without having fucking a wig on and makeup. I'm a female.
But I do understand that. But I'm saying the trans people themselves that have had the full surgery, is that why they're maybe saying to the people like, you're not a female?
No.
Because they haven't had the full surgery?
No, he has no right to call this guy a pervert. That just means she is a pervert as well too, because it's like, I understand what you're saying, Cheyanne. There's no certificate that gets handed out that says I'm a full-fledged trans. I've got all these surgeries done. Here's how you can verify it. No, I can walk into, if I go to the Eden Center, or if I go to Square One, or I go to any university or the library, I can walk into any female bathroom.
But I kind of get what Cheyanne's saying. Is like maybe the ones that have had surgery really believe that they're the real deal and they're not faking it, and there's others that are faking it.
Who is to say? Who's faking it? Who's to say that? I mean, first of all, the cost for surgery is ridiculous. Not every country covers the cost of the transition. And some people are just starting out. Who are you to say if that person really feels like a woman or not? And if you are going to criticize them and say, he's calling him a pervert, he said, right?
Yeah.
He said, so why can't I say that? Oh, because I'm not a trans? So I can't have that opinion? Only someone who's a trans can criticize another person if they're really a trans? Fuck that. So this is the problem. What I'm trying to say is all of this stuff, the reason that everyone, like you said, Carly, people are afraid to be canceled So there, again, I have nothing against trans people. I know some people who actually truly believe that they're a woman and they were abused, SA'd when they were younger, and they don't feel comfortable in their own skin. And I totally get it. I know some people who are, looks like a male, but she says that she's a female. Whatever, man. Whatever floats your boat, no problem. The minute that you go around affecting children with this shit and allowing them to butcher their body that cannot be reversed, like that girl who gets her breast removed will never be able to breastfeed children again if she wanted to. The one who got her reproductive organs removed shall never, if she tries to or he tries to, whatever, retransition, they'll never be able to have a child. If you're over 18, fucking you want to put big huge holes in your ears, you want to put like bumps on your head and sand down your teeth to think that you're a fucking crocodile, go for it, buddy. You're a crocodile, no problem. I'm okay with that. But if you are now going to affect a young girl who has devoted her life in sports, and now some guy who couldn't even qualify in the men's side decides the following year that he's a female and beats everybody, and then they get a gold medal, like as if they accomplished something, I'm against that, right? Anyway, we're gonna take a little break on this. So welcome back to Unleash the Six. I want to kind of change the topics. Well, we're still talking about the same thing, but I want to continue on a funny note when it comes to the feminist movement, right? All like women today want to be treated equal, right? That's really important for women, right? And which I respect. I truly believe that. But I feel that the movement today has kind of gotten very toxic, and it's giving the wrong message to men, right? So let's play this video to kind of show what I'm talking about.
I wish all men were feminists like you.
Here's that check for you, sir. Sir? Do not assume my pronouns. How dare you assume that because I'm a man that I'm going to be paying for this whole dinner? Women are fully capable of paying for themselves.
You want me to split the bill between you two?
Leave the entire bill. She will pay for the entire thing because she is an independent woman who does not need a man to provide for her. As a feminist woman, wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, I guess.
Here's the check, ma'am. I'm sorry. Canceled.
Oh my god, this is expensive. Give me a book.
Are you going to help me? As a feminist man, I don't want to imply that you can't defend yourself because you're a woman.
Are you serious?
You're just as capable of defending yourself as a man. As a feminist woman, wouldn't you agree?
Can you at least call the police?
The police. We need to defund those racist pieces of shit.
Hey, man. Long time no call.
Johnny sucked it.
Long time no.
Your little boy told I used to have some wild nights down in West Hollywood. You know boys, Joe?
No, I don't know.
Sucks for you. Sucks for me.
Oh. Are you gay?
As a feminist man, I'm sexually fluid, even within a relationship. As a feminist woman, wouldn't you agree with that?
This. I wish all men.
Is that funny?
That is funny.
It's not wrong though. It's not wrong. That's how women are.
Is that very confusing?
It can be very confusing.
Like, Chris, isn't that confusing for a guy? Like, we talked about this in a previous podcast. Nowadays, if a guy takes a girl out and they go to a restaurant, when the bill arrives, he's fucking nervous as hell. It's like Russian roulette, doesn't know what to do. Should I pay for the dinner? Will she get offended if I do? Like, does that mean that, I'm saying that she's a weak, helpless woman that I have to feed her? Or should I split it? Or should she pay for it? Like,
see, for me, if a guy would I wouldn't mind paying half, whatever. But if he asked, my immediate thought would be, he's not interested in me. Immediate thought would be, if this guy's asking me for pay for half of the dinner, then he's not interested in me.
But what happened to this whole thing about equality?
I never said I wanted equality. If someone wants to tell me to stay home for 40 hours a week, you can stay home. You don't have to work. All you gotta do is do housework. Oh, fuck, I'll do it.
And sex.
Yeah, I'll do it. Jeez.
So, Lola, what are your thoughts on this? When it comes to if a guy takes a girl out, should he be polite and ask her to split the bill?
Yes, because we don't know what she really is believing. But it is very confusing.
So, as a woman,
As myself,
I'm saying as a woman
Yeah.
or women, don't you have like a universal view on this?
I think we are. I think it was a little more confusing, but now I've been hearing more and more that women expect a man to pay on a date.
So now it's expected.
Yeah.
So it's not like a kind gesture on his part if he doesn't.
Oh, it is
He
a
has to
kind
do it.
gesture. It doesn't have to, but it's a kind gesture.
No,
So-
it's expected.
Yeah, it is expected. Like what Cheyanne just said. If he doesn't, if he Dutch it, he says, let's go Dutch on it, we split it 50-50, then the woman's going to think this guy's he's not interested in me, he's a cheapskate, he thinks I'm one of the boys or whatever.
That's 100%. I'd be like, okay, friend zone. He's not interested.
Yeah.
That's true.
Or he ain't getting anything tonight, that's for sure.
And it cannot be fast food.
Yeah. It can't be fast food.
Yeah. Or I'd be like, did I do something to turn him off? Or just like, I would be more in my head about it.
So if it's not fast food, so what is it? That's be gourmet
Like-
food?
Yeah, like for girls nowadays, I think guys are expected to pay the meal at the end, and it has to be like high class food. Like
So like it cannot be like a place that serves you, your food's not wrapped basically. Doesn't come in a wrapping. It comes on a plate.
No styrofoam.
comes in
On a
a
plate.
glass plate,
Yeah.
ceramic plate.
Yeah, so not like a paper plate or like it's not wrapped in paper.
Yeah, nowadays, yeah.
And even then, the girl most likely will have no idea what she wants, right? And she'll order something and take 2 bites of it, and eat the guy's stuff,
Turning off the guy's plate.
right? Because the guy knew what to fucking get. He has better
Or
taste.
like she'll order salad and be like, I think yours looks better.
Yeah, but she doesn't really want the salad. The salad's more expensive than anything else. So, women, I'm just trying to understand, what is it that women want?
As of now, I guess it is expected.
But you've got this whole movement that's going on that's saying that I don't need a man. I don't need a man to feed me or pay for me. I'm an independent woman.
So you don't
What's-
know who you're dating though. So these men you're talking about first dates, or
Yeah,
so you don't know what you're dealing with.
yeah. That's the problem.
That is a problem.
Is
Yeah.
the big mystery for a man. If he asks a woman out, he doesn't know if she'll be offended if he asks her to split the bill.
Could you ask that? Or would you be offended if I paid the bill? On a first date, when you don't know what she believes, like, or what she...
I mean, for me, I'm paying the bill. I don't give a shit if she's offended. Like that, it's no longer about feelings. It's, for me, it has to do with values.
Men, just
Right?
play it safe. Pay for the bill beforehand. Go up to the counter and be like, here's, I'm expecting the dinner.
No, because some women get offended by that. Saying, what, you think that I can't pay for myself? That I
No,
need you?
I would-
And are you expecting something now in return because you paid the bill? Like, you think you get some action from me?
No, what I would do if I was a man is I'd play this. I'd go in, I'd tell the servers, here's roughly $100. This is what I expect for my dinner. I'm gonna tip you both. But what you're gonna say at the end of the dinner is you're gonna come up to me like I'm a regular, and you're gonna go, you know what? The chef's happy to just see you here again, so it's on the house. That's what I would do.
Every
Mental
night,
mindfuck.
every time you go
I
out?
don't know. Maybe she thinks I'm popular. Maybe she thinks I have connections everywhere. I don't know, but that's what I would
It's
try.
a good idea. But I mean, that's like, the guy. You're saying the fucking guy has to jump through so many hoops
Well,
to make this happen.
we're
Not
show
to-
ponies. Start jumping.
No, not to offend the girl.
Yeah, essentially, yes.
Women not all, don't know what they want. That's the whole thing here. That's my issue.
And what
Is
we
that-
think what we want, we hear from other women
There
because
you go.
we hear, and you did say that on one of the last podcasts, and it really resonated with me because it's like you think you have a happy life, and then all of a sudden your friend's like, "Oh, but my husband or my boyfriend did this," and you're, "Oh, well, mine didn't do it that way. Okay, well, yours sounded better," and it does. It leaks in and it slips through the cracks. It does.
Yeah, yeah, and that's, to me, that is the worst place to go for relationship advice. Sorry to say. If you have a good guy and you go talk to your friends about a problem that you're encountering with your guy, I would say 70% of the time, the advice that she's going to give you is wrong. It's not going to be to make your relationship better, because women are very competitive that way. And women can be bitches, I'm sorry, to each other, more so than a guy and a girl. More so than a guy and a guy as well. Women, the friendships that women have, most of them are superficial. It's just on the surface. It's not a deep, meaningful friendship. That's very rare.
It's rare.
It is. I'm
is
not
rare,
saying you can't
yeah.
find it. Some women do have it,
Yeah.
but it's very, guys. All guys have that. All guys connect that way. It's raw. It's real. It's not superficial.
Yeah.
The superficial stuff most men don't like, and they don't want that type of relationship. But a lot of women are totally fine with it. That girl's popular. She's has really cool style and blah blah blah. They want that person to become their friend, even though they know the relationship is really fake overall. So my thing is that my advice to guys: if you go out, pay for the fucking meal. Like, don't even ask the girl, just pay for it. She gets offended, not to be with that woman. That's my thing, because if those are your morals and your values that you're raised upon, and you believe that, yeah, as a guy, if I take the girl out, it is my responsibility to pay for the bill. Good for you, man. Because someone raised you properly, and that's to me, that's the morally right thing to do.
And dating is the learning about the other person.
Yeah, and if that woman gets offended by that, fuck, that's a red flag. Run.
Yeah, so maybe it's good to find out.
So if any of you gone out on a date where you split the bill, or the guy asked if you want to split it? No?
I did pay for it. Like, as in, like, so, like, this one time we went for Hot Pot, our usual spot in downtown. And then usually he's the one who pays for it. But then, like, today, I feel like I want to pay for his meal, like, because usually he pays for it. So then, like, I told him, I was like, I would go to their bathroom. And then, like, the waitress, like, kind of, like, walked past me. So then I told the waitress, I was like, hey, like, I'm gonna pay the girl, like, to let him know, like, because I have my phone, I use Apple Pay. Yeah. So then she's like, okay. And then afterwards, like, I just walked up to her and then I paid for it. And then I went back to the table. And then when the waitress walked past us to take our plates and stuff, and then my boyfriend, like, tried to say, hey, like, let's get the check. And then she's like, oh, it's already paid for. So that because I keep telling him, let's go, like, let's leave, because, like, I did not, like, even mention that, like, we didn't pay the bill or blah blah blah. I just want to, like, let's just go.
Dine and dash.
Yeah.
Let's run out of here quick.
Yeah. So then I was just like, let's just do this once, like, why not? It's fun. Like, and then afterwards he's like, you didn't pay yet, and I was like, no, it's fine, just go.
So even when a woman does pay, she has no idea of how to handle it.
Yeah, so then, like, he was super surprised at the end. He looked at me, like, super shocked. He was like, you paid for this? You paid? And I'm like, no, I didn't. And then...
Why would you say I did?
Like, cause I wanted to,
got
like,
a reaction.
Let him have the surprise in his head, and
wow, like, it's such a big thing. I just paid for a meal.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Another thing is, I'm happy you were very honest about that.
I'm manipulating him.
Yeah, because a lot of women, like, you see this online as well. They're like, they'll go on a date, and they pay for the meal, and they need to announce it, like. And it's like the guy pays for everything all the fucking time. Like, you just pay for one meal.
It's like a little game.
See, men, and this is, I believe, with all men, when they earn a living because they're making sure that they're able to look after a family, that they can provide for a woman and for children. That's the concept and the thinking behind when a man goes out in the real world, he starts to earn money and he starts to gain his independence. His independence is based on me being able now to provide for a family. A woman's independence is based on her providing for herself and only herself. And now she's like, fucking, I'm a bad bitch. You know what I mean? I'm an independent woman. I don't need no man.
What's yours is mine. What's mine is mine.
There you go. So a woman, when she makes money, she makes it for herself. Her thinking is not, I'm going to be earning money to be able to support a family. It's for my freedom. But the burden on the man's shoulders is that when he starts to make money, is that he has to be able to make enough money to provide for a family. Those are his morals and his values. So it's very, very different, right? The same way a very wealthy man will have no problem dating a girl who's like a fucking barista at like Starbucks and providing for her. But a very wealthy woman ain't gonna date, like the cashier at Walmart and support him. That's just never gonna happen.
Unless it's like a boy-toy situation. She's already got the husband on lock and she just...
Like Jennifer Lopez. She married one of her dancers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sebastian something. He was just a dancer. and he was like a boy toy. He was younger than her, and then they got divorced.
Isn't that what Britney Spears did too with
Yeah.
Federline?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
He was a dancer too, I think. Right?
Yeah,
so
he was, yeah.
those are very, very rare occasions. But if you look at relationships with men, when they marry somebody, most men couldn't care less how much money the woman makes, or what her education is, or what amount of money she has in the bank. That's not what they care about. Women care about that. Is that true?
I do agree.
Yeah. Right? If the guy's broke, doesn't have a car, lives in in his parents' house, and he proposes to you, Carly, and has no money, well, I mean,
Nope. Bye.
yeah, it's not gonna happen, right?
I said yes.
He was broke and lived in his parents' house.
Yeah.
He wasn't working.
But the thing was, and this is the best part, he told me that his dad lived with him. And then the truth came out.
After you got married.
After.
Okay,
he
but
lived with his
no,
dad.
So then again, you didn't know the whole truth. If you knew that he was living in his parents' house and broke,
I mean, I still probably, knowing me, I probably still
you would have said yes.
I would have justified it some way, somehow.
That's because you're attracted to this guy, right? You had said.
Yeah, he's free tattoo.
Sorry, he has what?
I said, yeah, free tattoos.
There we go.
That saves a lot of money. One tattoo nowadays, with the way inflation goes, that shit costs you a lot of money.
So that's one of the reasons why you married him, because of free tattoos.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Let's be
Yes,
honest.
Grace, I married you. 20% of the reason was because you know how to tattoo.
Oh, he's a tattoo artist himself.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
there
been
you
doing it
go.
for like 50. That's where all my tattoos came from.
Oh, that's why you have so many of them.
Yeah, for free.
For free. It's like 200.
So
For 1 hour.
women will always punch up, right? We talked about that before. A woman will always want a man who's in a better position than her, not worse.
I had a friend in university that was looking for a man with an IP potential.
What does that mean?
Income potential.
Yeah.
And she married a very successful man.
I was going to say, how's she doing now?
They're divorced.
Oh.
Yeah,
She must
she
have
was.
cashed out.
Yeah, she did. I think.
There you go.
I think she did. He's remarried.
Yeah, because
Regrets giving her property up north at Blue Mountain. Yeah.
And he did it again. That's how dumb men are. Like they'll play a Russian roulette, get shot in the head. Let's go again.
This wife actually has her own money, like very successful woman.
Well, then he might have gotten a prenup signed.
He may have this time.
I truly believe, I know people are going to hate me for this, I truly believe every fucking marriage should have a prenup.
Every marriage, yeah.
Yeah.
Like what you brought to the marriage is what you leave with.
That's it.
I agree with that.
And whatever you make after the marriage together, you split.
Right.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
100%.
Because why not?
Then you also know someone's true intentions
Well,
are true.
you
no
know,
more true
the
than
message that's out there with all the feminists is, oh my God, if he does that, he's not loyal to you. You don't want a man like that. Excuse
I don't
me.
want your shit.
No, it makes sense if you marry older, but if you're 25 getting married, you both don't have much.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But even then, I still believe that there should be something in place.
Yeah, because the next day, that one of the people could win like $1 million.
Anything. So
Yeah.
my whole thing is that I truly believe you should have some kind of a legal agreement in place that basically says that if we get separated, you're going to get this and I'm going to get that. Not let the fucking government decide.
Yes. No,
Right?
I agree with that. Yeah.
You know, the house is yours.
Yeah.
The guy, he owns the house. He gets married. In this country, the woman moves in, even for 2 days. They get divorced, she gets half the house.
Yeah.
That's the law here. Like, what? How is that accepted in society? Yet people like, do you remember who Johnny Carson is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Johnny Carson was known for his divorces. He had 5.
Yes.
And it was like, what? Like he was worth like like 500 million, something crazy. And the woman married him and got divorced and got half his money, like Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
He got married to a woman who only had one leg. And she got 50%. He truly loved her and thought she loved him. And she said he was abusive and whatever. And then he did drugs his whole life. What the fuck do you expect? Like you're marrying a guy, they did LSD all the time, cocaine. The Beatles were on drugs all the fucking time. You marry this guy, you think he's not going to have some flashbacks or some shit, and he's worth so much money. And she divorced him and got half his money. To me, that's not fair. But in society, it's accepted, you know? You want to put in the last video? This is really funny, but so true.
There's not a big pool of good men.
That's a lie.
That's not a lie.
That is a lie.
Tell me.
Listen, there's not a lot of good men who want y'all. I'm clapping for myself. Where the good man at? Like they hiding under a rocker in a cave. They everywhere. They at the gas station. They at Costco. They at Equinox. They at the bank. They walking right past you and you don't show up on their radar because of the way you are. They're going to walk right by you. Your pretty face ain't going to go too far because everybody's pretty. That's a prerequisite. So if that's all you got to offer, we not looking at you. But there's plenty good men. They just don't want your ass. I ain't never heard no woman say, I know I ain't shit. When have you ever heard a woman admit to not being shit? She'll say, this man ain't shit, he ain't shit, he was bad, he was bad, he was bad, he was bad. But for the most part, every woman think they're a good woman. What makes you a good woman? Who's auditing that you're a good woman? You are auditing yourself? Why don't you ask your exes what they think? Because all your relationships diminished and ended in turmoil.
There's not a big pool of good.
What this guy's saying is really deep because the woman's complaining there's not a lot of good men out there, right? And he's making a really valid point, is that there are a lot of good men, but these women with their thinking, they think they're a 10. But they're not a 10. You're a fucking 5 on a good day. So there's a lot of good guys who are above a 5, but you think that you're all that shit, so you don't want a guy who's a 5. You want a guy who's a 10. Well, that guy who's a 10, remember we talked about that you can get it up, but not keep it up? So that guy who's a 10, he might be, whatever, he'll bang you that night, right? Because you might look pretty, you know, with the dim lighting in the club, and you might have had too many drinks, and your face has been painted, you got all kinds of shit on, like extensions and push-up bra and heels and fake eyelashes and fucking wearing Spanx. And so the guy has no idea what he's buying, right? Or what he's getting
She
into.
appears like a 10.
Yeah. So, but to him, he doesn't care. He's going to sleep with you, and then the next day he's not going to call you, because that's all. You're a 5, and you went for a guy who's a 10. But now in your head, you think that the only type of guys that you should be getting are 10s because that one guy was a 10. No, you're delusional. That guy just used you for sex. So you got him, you lured him in just for the one night thing, but he's not going to stay with your ass. You're not his caliber. And now you think that you deserve a 10 all the time. And the next thing you know, all these guys you call them fuckboys, and all these guys are having sex with you, but no one's committing with you. And then every now and then, on a blue moon, one of those guys calls you because he's lonely and wants a booty call, and you jump at the opportunity and sleep with him, but then you don't hear from him again the next day. And now you're even more delusional. So now the guy who's a 6 who works at Home Depot is actually a really good guy. He works hard. He's loyal. He's going to treat you like a princess. You won't give him the time of day because he's a 6. And then you get into your fucking 30s and you wonder why you're single. And how many guys have passed through you. You're a 304 at that point. You've had so many guys, your body count's ridiculous. And you're wondering why a guy who's a 10 won't settle with you because you've been with like 30 guys. Yeah, he doesn't want to be with a hoe. Like, so women in general, again, not all women, they are a little bit delusional. And it has to also do with their circle that's around them. Because they have all these cheerleaders around them that make them believe that they're, oh my God, you're the prize. You're amazing. Like, no, you're not. Like this guy said, okay, you're a pretty face. Or you have a vajayjay. Okay, and every girl has that. What's so special about you? Right? So these women who say there's a small pool of good men, they're bitter women. They're really, really bitter. Because they had their chance when they were, first of all, some of them were pretty when they were younger, and they could have, got a good guy. But they kept on playing the field. So I watched this one video, and I'm not saying that all of this is true, but it kind of makes sense. And I want your lady's opinion on this. This guy was saying that if a woman is still single and she's past her mid-20s and getting to her late 20s, early 30s, don't go for that woman. Because most of these women, they had all kinds of guys approaching them in their late teens, early 20s, mid-20s, and none of those guys wanted to marry them up. and they're still single now in their late 20s and early 30s. So they've been through a lot of guys. And why are they? Because most women, they will get married in their 20s. Even like mid to late 20s, a guy's going to tie them down because he knows that she's got great qualities and blah, blah, blah. Some guy's going to propose to her. Many guys are going to propose to her. She will get married. A woman who gets into her 30s and she's still not married and she's single and she could be attractive, she could be beautiful. What went wrong there?
I'm on it. Go ahead, Lola.
No, I was just thinking some women are not dating seriously until their 30s. Maybe they're working on a career. So there may not be that stereotype that you were describing.
But then that woman's got problems then, right? Because she made her career a priority.
She did, but early 30s is too old.
I don't know. I think that when it comes to building a relationship with a guy, a girl and a guy, I think that if they're younger, that the bond is stronger and that the support system is way better than if a woman gets into her 30s and she's already got her independence and she's already lived her life the way that she wants to live it. Sleep with, have as many partners, whatever it may be. By the time she's in her 30s, I think she's going to have a lot of baggage.
See, I want to defend some of those women because I've known some of them.
Okay. And did they get married in their 30s?
Yeah, I have family members that did that.
And are they happily married?
Yeah, they actually are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's a rare occasion.
But it is a rare. I know what you're talking about. I do agree with it to some extent.
I'm talking about a woman, if she wants a man that's a high value man, and she herself is a high value woman, she'll be getting married in her 20s. Most of them will, because the men that are out there will notice that this woman is of high value and someone is going to propose to her.
And I've seen that too.
Yeah.
So you're not wrong, but
I also do think a lot of women let their boyfriends keep them from their husbands, and I mean that they spend too much time in the wrong relationship, justifying staying in the wrong relationship instead of meeting the right one. So for example, when I was in my early 20s, the guy I thought I was going to marry, after so long, he was doing some outrageous shit. He was cheating on me with men, women, trans, everything. And I caught him sucking some guy's dick behind my high school. Okay?
What?
Yeah, he told me, I'm at my friend's house. I had his location on Snapchat. Bullshit. I asked him one more time. Took the dog for a walk.
You stayed with this guy after that?
I did, and I justified I justified every reason because it must be I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
But he was preventing me, my boyfriend was preventing me from meeting my husband and moving on to the next relationship. And I think a lot of women do that. It's okay, what am I doing wrong? Or what can I fix in him? Instead of just cutting your losses, realizing, let him go, let her go, it's not for you, and moving on to the next person. You have to realize that that's what I consider an angel in life, are people that are stepping stones. They come into your life when you need them, they serve their purpose, and they leave. That's it. They get you to where you're a pebble. They get you to where your next hop is supposed to be. And sometimes you never hear or see that person ever again, but they were a significant part of your life.
Like a stepping stone.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I feel a lot of women, they spend too much time on the wrong relationship. And that's where the 30 thing, when you get your late 30s, because that's when they're realizing, fuck, I don't need that garbage. I'm going to go find what I deserve. And then that leads into your late 20s, early 30s. So I kind of see both arguments. And like Lola was saying, people can be very career-oriented as well. But I also agree with you. I was the career-oriented woman, and I regret it every single day I wake up and I see on Facebook that my friends have kids and they're taking pictures of their kids. And some of the kids are in high school now, grade 9, grade 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm fuck, if I had had my first one, mine would have been up there too. It's crazy the way that society has changed the priorities, because before it was family, women stay at home, they raise the children, and then women got this and haters are probably going to come at me for this, but women got this well, men can do it, we can do it better attitude. And we talk about all the time, we can't do it better. There's certain things, men are built different than women. We have our strengths, they have their strengths, they have their weaknesses, we have our weaknesses.
You're never going to see men arguing that point.
It's only going to be women.
Yeah, you're never going to see men saying we can do it better than women. Men know, they stay in their lane. Carly, what are your thoughts on this, about the thing that I said earlier about women in their 20s and opposed to women in their 30s?
speaking from experience, now I'm engaged. But I do think, because for me, myself personally, like, I have a period of time that, like, I do think because ever since me and my boyfriend started dating, like, he's been trying to, get married. Like, very, very...
Get you to commit.
Yeah, like,
long term.
in the beginning.
Yeah.
So, like, he knows, like, what he wants already. But, like, for me, I feel like at some point of my life, like, it's not commitment issue. It's just I'm scared of the idea of marriage. Because, sorry, like, I don't think my parents gonna see this, but because I have, like, family issues of, like, they've been, like, arguing ever since, like, I was super, super young. Every single day when I was growing up and stuff, and all they talk about is money issues and my educational issues and everything. So, like, in my head, like, it's, and also, like, my parents issue kind of thing, like, some of them don't get along. So it's been in my head. So, like me growing up, it's just like, okay, like, getting into a marriage, you first have to have a stable job, stable income. Like, both of us has to have both of these things first. And then we have to have, like, everything, our mindset is, like, all set, like, we're all together in one thing. And we cannot have issue with, like, both in-laws. But
that's impossible, right? I mean, for you to, it's kind of saying that I want to have the perfect scenario.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
Or close to it, then I'll commit. That's never gonna happen.
Yeah, so that was in my mindset. So, like, because before, like, I had a good, decent job, and then he was having, like, he has a really good job. So, like, that part was fine. But then the relationship kind of thing, like the family kind of situation, it's very, very complicated in our cases. So in my head, it's just like, I don't think this is gonna work kind of thing. So, like, I've been scared for a really long time. So, like, my boyfriend has been, like, convincing me, like, and telling me reasons about it and everything. So then after, like, a year or more than a year, I slowly, like, try to, like, understand everything. So then he actually, like, after that, I was like, okay, like, I think maybe I want to get married now, like, he understands the issue that I had, and then we solve it kind of thing. Then he started to propose, like, plan to propose. Then I feel like at that point, it's like, okay, like, this is actually happening now. Like, there might be an issue in the future, but, like, we're, like, I'm glad that, like, we're on the same page on everything, so then we don't have any, like, arguments about this later on. So then, like, we're good, we're set.
So you have a really good guy. I mean, it sounds like he's a really good guy.
He really does.
He cared about addressing your issues and made you feel secure and comfortable. And let you know that you don't have to worry about these things. And if you do, you know that he's the type of guy you can communicate with. And he's very, very sensitive to your needs, which is really good. But do you think that that is one of the main reasons that a lot of women are not getting married?
I feel like in this society, I feel like all the women wants, to have, like, a decent income. Like, it has to have money. Because if you don't have money, you cannot raise a child in this society, first of all. Like, I think,
correct me if I'm wrong, but I think their expectations are ridiculous. That's why they're not getting married.
Like, I feel like if you're poor, you can still raise a child in the poor way. But
poor again, like, I mean, we're not talking about someone living, like, in a cardboard box, right?
Well,
I mean, if you're in Canada, you're still able to get by, right? I mean, pretty much everyone's got a cell phone or a car. I'm not saying not everyone, but if you are a young girl and you've gone to school and you have an education, most likely the guy that you're going to be with has some kind of an education as well too. You're still going to be able to survive and have a good life. You might not have a yacht. You might not travel first class wherever you go, but you're still gonna have a good life, eat what you want, whatever, go shopping, this and that, and provide for your children. It's just a matter of being smart, having the right way of thinking, right? So we both have the same goals. But I feel that a lot of women today, their expectations are not real. And they're waiting around for some miracle guy to come along and sweep them off their feet and give them this incredible life where they're gonna be, eating caviar every fucking day. and getting like a bouquet of 100 flowers, and they're going to be traveling in a private jet, and like, you know, like wake up, stay in your lane, know your worth. Like there's so many women out there that you see on social media who, I'm sorry, like they're like, I mean, their looks are just average, but they have this attitude that they deserve like a guy who like a CEO of a Fortune 500 company and has a private jet and a limo, and that he's just going to come along like in the movie Pretty Woman and just marry her. And just like, you know, that's not going to happen. Like fucking wake up. That's not, and a lot of these girls, so there's some girls as well who are very pretty, or beautiful girls, and they had that opportunity when they were younger, in their 20s, when they did meet men like this. But they had the attitude that I'm, you know, fucking YOLO bullshit, right? And they don't give a shit. They need to settle down. And there's going to be these guys who are going to be always available. These high value men, they're going to know, because when you start getting older and you start having more boyfriends and you've been through more guys and stuff, your value starts to go down. It's like a fucking car. Like, tell me something that increases in value the more it's used.
The value goes down, but the expectations go up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
please name me something that increases in value the more it's used.
Your brain. Sorry.
It increases in value? That's individual, but I'm saying, tell me a product or a type of relationship. What is going to go up in value the more it's being used?
The girls that fill bathwater full of jars and sell it.
So women, as they end up getting older, right, they get more used. They're with more guys.
No, 100%.
Why would you expect a guy who's a high value man to come along and, you know, acknowledge your delusional view on what you're worth? Like now the girl's in her late 20s, she's been with 20 guys or 30 guys, and she thinks that some guy's just gonna come along who's of high value and like marry her up.
Well, like, okay, I know I've said it before in the show where I've said, like, my dad always told me growing up when I was like, oh, I'm never gonna have sex unless I get married. My dad would always say, so, like, a guy is never gonna go test drive a car without, or buy a car without test driving it first. But that also works reverse roles. Okay, as a salesperson, you see a person walk into your sales floor, 9 out of 10 times you know if they're actually gonna buy a car or not, right? So it's up to you to judge.
Very good point.
It's up to you to judge as a woman.
Is this a tire kicker?
Is this a guy that's going to come here and just look at the lot a couple times because he's just a window shopper and he knows he can't keep up? Or is this a man that's going to buy me off the lot outright? Right? So I think I know my dad said that to me, but it works reverse roles. And I know he said it to me the wrong way, but that's what his point was to me. Men are going to treat you like that. They will. If you let them, they will let you.
Yeah.
So it's up for you to be the owner and the seller and say, no, it's okay. We'll find a real buyer.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a really good way to look at it, because most women, we mentioned this before, women fall in love with what they hear.
Mm-hmm.
So like you just said right now, if the guy is smart, he knows what lines to say, you're like, okay, I'll let him go for a test drive, right? Because he made you believe that he's serious and he has good intentions, but he doesn't, right? And men fall in love or are attracted to what they see, right? So if you're a shiny sports car, buddy's gonna want to drive it. But you're the one who has the fucking key.
Yeah.
That's the booty. Why these women are giving up. They think right away, oh, you know, they're out at a club, they meet this guy who's like a high roller, has a nice sports car, he makes really good money. She clearly knows he's a high value man. And he's talking to her now, and she thinks, oh yeah, you know, this guy's of my caliber. That's why he's talking to me. And they have sex with him that night. And they wonder why I didn't call the next day. You automatically, I'm not saying all women, some women can't have that, but they have a connection with the guy. They do connect, right? But most women, when they do that on the first night, you fall into the 304, the hook. Automatically, you're a 304. Buddy knows it now. He knows it. And some women have that reputation that they give it up on the first date. And you think that guys like really has good intentions if he's hitting on you? He already knows what you're all about. He knows that you give free test drives. why is he not going to take a free test drive? The other guys have said, yeah, that car is really fast. It's great. You're going to enjoy it. Right? Rev it up. Go for it.
It's open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Just go. There's walk-ins only.
Yeah, and then now that girl, because she's delusional, she thinks, oh yeah, I deserved a guy like this. No, this guy's just using you. And you're foolish because you live in a delusional world. You give up the booty, and he's not going to call you the next day.
Yep. And there's another thing we haven't addressed is after 35, fertility.
Yeah.
So that it's a real thing. You can't, science isn't going to help you if you go into early menopause or stuff like that.
Do you believe in like that whole empty nest syndrome that they talk about? That there's women who have focused on their career and then they get into their 40s and they're single, they have a ton of money, but they don't have a child. They have no kids, right? So that maternal side never had a chance to kind of come out. And there's a lot of people that say that they go through severe depression because of it.
Yeah, if they made the wrong choice for themselves. Some people don't want children, and that's your choice. But if you've made the wrong choice, yeah.
So as women, do you feel that having a child, obviously through marriage, I'm not saying, you got knocked up, whatever, I'm saying through marriage and so on, do you think that that is something that is something you should desire, something you look forward to, or you should look forward to as a woman? Carly?
I think so. Because women are the only species that can give birth. I mean, mammals, but I mean, women are the only type of people that can give birth to their own children.
Yeah.
So even though I know a lot of people would say oh, I hate kids, they're so annoying now, they're loud, blah blah blah, but most of the women would want to have their own child because it's a tiny little version of you and your other half combined. So I don't care how many you're having, but even one is fine, is enough. It's the two of you guys combined together and then created a little you. Yeah. So it's if I say it this way, it's more cute. But there are some people that say, no, they're so annoying, they're so rude, I don't like how these teenagers and kids act nowadays. If you teach your child proper, then they won't act that way. Yeah. So it's your choice, So I feel women should have that desire to want to have their own kids.
Lola?
Well, I've had my own children. I have friends that couldn't get pregnant, and they're older now. I have some that had children and aren't happy about it with their life. And I've had other people that are. So I would
not. How about yourself?
I am happy for myself because I'm the kind of person that always knew what she wanted very early on in life.
But do you feel that for a woman, it's rewarding and it's empowering?
It's amazing. When it's nothing, you hear about it from other people, but when you experience it yourself and you hold that baby and you smell that baby and it's yours, it's an amazing feeling. But I don't want women out there to hear that and say that can't have children.
No, I understand that. Yeah. We're talking about the women who can.
Okay, if you can.
Don't worry about offending anybody here.
No, but but honestly, you could have, and also you don't know what you get when you have children. They could be very challenging.
But that's the beauty of life, right? I mean,
it is. I think it is wonderful. Honestly, I recommend.
Do you feel that it's empowering to women?
Empowering.
And it's rewarding.
I think you have to find power within.
But for yourself, did you feel that? That's what I'm asking.
I thought it was amazing. I really wanted it. I wanted to experience. I'm curious about many things in life. I want to experience a lot of things.
Well, I mean, especially because a woman is able to do that. I mean,
it's the most amazing feeling, and just having a human
and that bond.
being.
I think that bond is a mother and a child is one of the most unique bonds that's out there. I don't think there's any other bond that can be compared to.
Oh, it's an amazing
relationship.
Amazing.
Having a living being in your body.
Yeah.
That is dependent on you.
That is the romantic side of it. But honestly, sometimes it could be the biggest heartache too, depending on the personality and.
That's further on down the line. I totally get that. But I'm saying I'm just talking about the fact that if you're a woman and you focus on your career,
Yeah.
and you don't get married, and you get into your 40s, right? Now you start realizing, well, the clock's ticking here, right?
Yes.
And then you have some women who are a little bit more traditional who might get married in their 20s and they have children.
Yes.
What are the pros and cons in regards to which life would be more fulfilling for a woman?
It just feels more real to have children. I don't know. It's for me more life like experience, whether it's good or bad. Like it doesn't have to be all perfect.
It's a phase that you need to. I feel that when you get to that age and you meet the right person, I think that if you're able to, it's a blessing.
If you're able to,
yeah. Some people can't, like you said, right?
I know.
Cheyanne, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, as somebody that never wanted kids growing up, I just knew how I was. So my mentality wise, like in high school, pre-college, was always, why would I have a snotty little brat that's going to talk back to me and steal from me? That was my mentality. But I don't care. Mother Nature will hit every single woman. And there comes a time, whether it's, I think, like mid-20s or late 20s, where it's like, or even early 20s, where you want to mother something. You want to baby something. You want to nurture.
Usually your man.
And then, right? And I was a very career-oriented person, and that's what I was good at. And there was, like, times I'd get pregnant, and I didn't keep it, and a lot of the times I'd hear, are you sure you can handle that? And I'd be like, okay, but you were throwing a baby shower for the 16-year-old down the street yesterday, but you're gonna ask me if I can handle it. So that kind of made me think I'm not gonna be good in that aspect. I'm gonna be more career-oriented. I'm good at that. People rely on me. I'm there early. I'm there last. So that was my reward system, was work. So then as I worked my career, now I'm in my early 30s, and I'm like, I really wish I had have focused on becoming a mother and learn, because I didn't know how to be one. I could have learned to become one. There was nothing stopping that, but because I was intimidated by the factor, I didn't do it, and I took the safe route. I was like, I'm gonna go with what I know I'm good at. So I did that, and now I do struggle with that. I struggle with, okay, fuck, if I had kept one of the babies, what would they look like? What would this look like? But then comes the back of my head, would I have the same marriage that I have? Would I have the same person? Because, it's really hard to go up to a guy to say, hey, like, I'm 31, my kid's 17. Like, that's, the math isn't mathing there. Like, and then to deal with a baby daddy and all that shit, I feel like I had a better chance at a more foundation of a relationship with Chris, not having that baggage, right? And I'm not trying to say it like that.
I understand your point, though.
If I'm gonna have kids and try to, it's gonna be with someone that I'm married to, not just to have them. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm learning, right?
One thing that you said earlier is that you felt that you were more career oriented and you have the skills of, people need help, you can guide them, blah, blah. Those are the best mothers.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, if you're able to help people, people come to you and you're organized and you can delegate stuff, and that means you'd be a great mother.
Yeah.
I mean, now you tell me.
Most of these women who are like, career driven and they're able to climb the corporate ladder and do so well, they would be amazing mothers. Yeah. Because they got their shit together.
Oh, I never thought of it from that perspective.
Right? So raising a child is far easier than, having like this incredible career, building on a career, because you're out in the real world, right? You're dealing with all kinds of different people. When you're at home with your child, just you and your child. Right? So if you're able to excel in your career, raising a child would be a breeze for that type of woman. So my whole point here was that video that I watched, the message that individual was getting across was, women, there's a time when a woman's at her prime. Okay? And a lot of women today take that opportunity and just flush it down the toilet, because they think that they're going to be at their prime always. No. A man, I'm not saying this to just, support men in this area, but men, even as they get older, they're still in demand. A man can be in his 50s and 60s, and he can still get a young girl. Because what a woman is seeking in a relationship is completely different than what a man is seeking. When a woman is younger, she's in her late teens and 20s, looks really matter to her, right? She wants a young guy who's hot and whatever, blah, 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 into all the bullshit styles and be cool and this and that. But as a woman gets older, even if she's in her late 20s, early 30s and so on, that superficial part kind of fades away a bit. She wants more security. She wants a guy who's emotionally mature. She wants a guy who's financially successful, right? And he's grounded, and he can give her that secure life. So even a guy, if he gets into his 50s and he's in his 60s, he can get a girl who's in her 20s and 30s. Not all, but he can still get one because he is still attractive to that woman. Whereas if you turn the tables and now you have a 45-year-old woman who's had a successful career, why would a 45-year-old man want to marry her? He wouldn't. Most men who are 45 are not going to want that. He's going to want a young 30-year-old who can still most likely mother his children.
Yeah, if he wants children.
Yeah. So again, we're talking about a high-value man. So a lot of these women think, oh, I'm in my 40s, I have a successful career, I have my own house, I have a cottage, I have 3 cars, and I travel all the time. I should be able to snatch up a guy easily, no problem, who's in my age range. That's not going to happen. Because most of the times, men don't value those things. A man would much rather want a young girl who's beautiful, who looks after herself, has good morals and values, and she's in her 30s and he knows he can have a family with her. But men, as they get older, their value still stays. If the guy's a high value man, he's successful, he looks after himself, he makes really good money, he's still going to be able to get a young girl. But a woman, as she gets older, sadly, her value is going to start to go down. Also because of the amount of guys that she's been with. Women don't care about that. Like, do you care about, does it matter to you the body count that a guy has?
I care.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
To what extent? So if you met a really good guy and he's very successful and all the boxes were checked off, you know, what you want him to be regarding his background, his ethnic background, his religious beliefs, his looks, as well to the amount of money that he makes, how successful he is, how he takes care of you, how emotionally connected he is to you, how he caters to you. All of that is in place and he wants to settle down with you, but he happens to have a high body count. You're going to say no?
Like how high?
Well, what does that matter?
Yes, actually it would matter because for me, I look for
I
patterns.
don't want some crazy bitch come out to my house and say like, "Hey, like, I have your babe."
No. I mean, listen. Let's. We're not talking about anything extreme. I'm talking about most guys who are successful guys, who are high value men, have had their share of women. Because those women.
And then they're trying to settle down now.
No, now if he does meet the right woman, and she is a traditional woman, and he's attracted to her, and she meets all the boxes are being checked off. I don't think there's a lot of women who are going to say no to that guy.
I'm gonna say no.
Oh, if the body count here.
Really?
No, because I want him to be mine. I don't want his things to be touched by so many women. Like, that's just filthy and dirty to me.
But how about your thing being touched by men?
I have never had.
Okay, you're an anomaly.
She's expecting the morals that she's up
This is normal. I'm sorry.
No, it's not. What you are is this conversation cannot be, when we're talking about virgins, that's a completely different ballgame. So there are virgin women out there who deserve a virgin man. I totally agree with that. That's not what I'm talking about.
I'm just saying, yes, the body count would matter to me because I look for patterns, and I mean that in the sense that I need to know, is it a commitment issue? Did you jump relationships because of commitment, or is it just being... No, but I like...
These aren't relationships.
But I'm just saying, I just need to see... You don't know that. Body count...
He was just sowing his oats. He was just having fun. He's a guy.
Okay, well, I don't know. For me, I'm an analyzer, and I'd be like, okay, well, what type of women were you screening? Were you trying to figure yourself out?
Just hot girls. What kind?
Okay, but then that's also double standard then.
Why?
Because if you can have high body count, why can a woman have high body count and not get a good man?
I'll tell you why. Because for a woman, when she ends up giving up her body's far more sacred because she can get pregnant by this guy. It's
and
a completely
if you wear
different.
condoms?
So a woman is the one who decides on whether or not she's gonna have sex with the man. It's not the man. Because most men will have sex with anything. Okay? It's the woman who spreads her legs. She's the one who allows the man. It's not the other way around. That's a choice that a woman makes, not a man. I'm not condoning that a man should have a high body count. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is, more often than not, women, if a man is experienced with women, he's going to be better at taking care of you and treating you in a certain way and so on because he's gone through that experience.
That's also my point. Okay, so for example, so I get a high value man right now. He's experienced with all these different kind of women that taught him how to treat a woman, just like not like actually.
But your case is different only because you're not going to be able to wrap your head around this because you haven't had multiple partners. A woman who's had many partners, that individual is going to understand my point a lot better. You see, when a woman has sex with a man, and I think, Olga, we talked about this before, that there's a certain chemical that gets released in a woman.
Yes.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that chemical is a bonding chemical that gets released in her because she creates a bond with that man. And it's an emotional bond. A man doesn't have that. For a man, having sex with a woman literally is like a fucking handshake.
So
Chris, am I right? Don't worry.
He's debating. He's debating his answer.
Girlfriend, close your ears.
Yeah. For a man can literally go out at night, have sex with a woman, and go back and not even think about it. The girl, it's a handshake.
Mm-hmm.
And go back to his woman if he has a woman.
Yeah, but you just said like to the woman it's not. So if he has a high body count.
So if she has a high body count, if the woman has a high body count, that means that she's bonded with all of these men. And she went through all of these traumas with these men. Because each man broke her heart.
Okay.
Right? Or did not commit in a relationship with her. Because unless the woman's a hoe, then all she wanted is sex.
Okay, so back to your point, like, but if a man has high body count but check off all the list, all those women that had sex with him would have the emotional attached to him
But he
in
didn't.
some
He
way.
didn't. But he doesn't.
He didn't, but
Yeah.
the crazy bitches will come to my house.
No,
and
they
be like,
won't. That's not the way it happens. That might be like in
She
reality
doesn't want
shows
to
and
deal with
shit.
them.
That doesn't happen. Like, I'm not talking about a guy that while he's with you, he's sleeping with other women.
No, I know.
I'm saying in the past he may have.
Yeah,
slept with-
like the
but those women,
exes
but they're. I mean, it's not.
fun toy.
That doesn't happen. I mean, listen, I've been stalked before. I've dealt with it, but it's not like a thing where every guy, because he slept with over 10 girls, he's got some crazy bitch that's chasing him. That's not the case.
I know. Okay.
Okay.
But
I'm
that's
talking
just
about a guy who's slept with women, right? And he may have slept with more women than the girl has slept with guys. More women are they accept it more than the other way around.
Yeah.
Is that
I
the
agree.
norm now?
That's always been the norm.
Yeah.
It's always been the norm. Okay, look at society, look at history. Okay? If you look at conquerors of nations and stuff, how many concubines did they have? How many women did they have? Tons.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a wife, they had a queen. That's been since civilization has begun. High value men have always, there's men that are out there, that's just how they are. They're able to love one woman, but have sex with many women without having any emotional connection at all with any of the other women. That's how men are made. That's the reality.
And that won't be my man.
Your man's made that way too.
No,
Yes, he is.
Nope.
He might deny it to you. You might want to believe that, but your man can have a relationship, a sexual relationship with a woman, just purely sexual, and still be in love with you. And you wouldn't even
then
know
I
it.
would just break it off.
Nope.
You're
Well, do you understand my point?
Yeah,
Well, do you agree with what I'm
I
saying?
completely. It would not be a deal breaker.
But do you understand that men, do you agree that men are capable of doing that?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I understand that they can do that. Like, I understand your point, like, oh, like, he can be in love with one person, but then, like, have sex with all the other girls.
Not even all. It could be like, for example, a guy could be married, okay? And he
then
can
go
have a
and
side
fun.
chick. One side chick, and he has no emotional connection to her.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And he loves his wife.
Yeah, and if the side chick threatens his marriage, he'd probably get rid of her easily.
Yeah.
And then find another guy.
He'd stay with his wife.
Yeah.
But a woman cannot do that. A woman cannot be married and have a side guy.
Oh, yeah, of course not.
Why not? Because they're emotionally connected.
Yeah.
And the only way that she will have the side guy is because her man is not giving her the emotional needs. He's not meeting the emotional needs. This guy is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way this guy got her. By telling her the stuff that she wants to hear, which her husband's not saying to her. That's why women have affairs. Women don't have affairs because of sex. Women have affairs because they're lonely. They're lonely. Emotionally, their needs are not being met. So along comes a guy, right? And Leroy or Trevor, whatever his name is, and he's gonna be all like smooth and what's wrong with you, baby? Like you seem so down and blah blah blah. And he's sort of talking to her, oh my man, my husband doesn't really talk to me that much. Oh really? You can talk to me all day. You're so beautiful. And then she'll start talking to her a little bit and start talking a little bit more. And oh my God, I wish my husband was like you. I was like, it's okay, but I'm here for you. Whatever you want.
It makes me sad.
But it's true though.
Yeah.
And this is the same exact thing. And I don't care what women say, if you have male friends, that's what those men are. They're just waiting to pounce.
I agree.
They're on the bench waiting for their turn.
That's it.
They're bench warmers.
Yeah, and they're like and you think, no, he's a friend of mine. Bullshit. And the girl knows it.
Forever.
Yeah,
I
he just
agree.
cares about me like a sister. Bullshit. If you give him the opportunity to get into your pants, he's going to take that opportunity. So women are wired completely different. Women, even now, this whole stupid culture online where you've got these people who have these podcasts and are promoting a high value man, the woman, his main chick, should be okay with him sleeping with other women. No, he's not a high value man. Just because he makes money doesn't make him high value. High value means he has high morals and values. That would his mother be okay with that? Would he be okay if his father did that to his mother? That the father's banging other chicks on the side and the mother's okay with it. No, that guy would not be okay with it. So he won't do it either. So I agree with the high value man part, not this part that they add on that, if you have a high value man, you should be okay with him sleeping with the girls. No, the point I'm trying to make is body count matters way more when it comes to the amount of bodies a woman has than the amount of bodies a guy's got.
Think of your body count like your credit score for marriage.
Yeah.
Literally, the lower the better.
0.
But the sad thing is that most women lie.
Yeah, but a lot of people fudge their credit report too.
Yeah, there you go. Women lie about their body count. They don't count the one-night stands. They don't count when they're on vacation. They only will talk about the long-term relationships. And why do they do that? If they're so liberated and they can sleep whoever they want, why are you lying?
Because we need a narrative set so we look the best at all times.
Yeah, innocent.
That's what it is.
Yeah, of course.
You can only see our best side.
Yeah, well, until you get married.
Yeah, then you find out I can't cook.
Then the other side comes out and it's like, oh shit, I'm tied in, Is there anything you girls want to talk about at all?
Well,
Cheyanne? No? Anyone? Good. Well, this is a lot of fun.
I would like to shout out Shatterizer though, because they sent me this dab pen and they found out because they remember the last time Explorer. So Shatterizer found out I was coming on here. So they wanted me to stop smoking the distillate pens because distillate is horrible for you. It's man-made, it's not good, it's not natural. So they gave me Shatterizer pen and I've been smoking concentrates for the last, I'd say 7 or 8 days. And that's part of what's been helping me because I'm not smoking as much weed with tobacco and bong water. Phenomenal product. Shatterizer.
We should want to sponsor us.
Yeah, we should. We should. They're a Canadian company too.
Very good.
Chris, you want to say something?
So I just wanted to bring it back to. I wanted to ask, what is the body count that would please you?
Ooh, good one. That's a good question.
For a girl or for a guy?
For a girl.
Well, I mean, the problem here is that, Carly's has got 0, so she's gonna.
Oh, are you actually a virgin?
No.
Oh.
Then how's your body count?
To
0?
my boyfriend, no, but
Oh, that's the only person that you've slept with?
yeah.
Good for
Amazing.
you, girl. That
Duh,
is
I'm fucking Asian.
Why did you-
Strict freaking.
I didn't know that. I'm not trying to.
I don't know about that, but being Asian. Okay,
Wow,
I won't say
good for
anything.
you.
That's amazing.
That's good morals.
Yeah, but so Chris, for her, one would be too much.
What?
No, for you, if your guy
Yeah.
was with 3 girls or 5 girls, would that be too much?
I mean, if his body count is 10, it's fine. I'm not that traditional that he
Okay,
cannot have any.
that's cool. So what's the deal breaker? 20? 50? 100?
He's like a year older than me. So if he has more than like
2. I knew she was
more than his age, I think.
His age?
Yeah,
So
so
more
like
than 27.
like 27, 28.
Okay, so that's cool.
reasonable.
Well, then there's no.
Then I know.
Listen, most guys
I could
today,
live with that, yeah.
keep this in mind, okay? A lot of guys brag about this shit, but I'm gonna talk some facts here, okay? We said that the high value man, most of them are like when Chris looked it up, the stat was like what?
2.6.
2.6% of men made over 150. I think it was.
I believe it was 200,000.
200,000 a year. Okay, 2.6%. Like that's a really small number. Okay. Even if you were to go to 100 grand a year, even if it went to 10%, those 10% of men, or those 5% of men, 80% of the women are after that.
And
okay,
those men, you're assuming all those men are straight, like we.
No, some gay. I'm talking the straight ones. So those straight guys, 80% of the single women who are in the dating field, who are hunting, who are out there, right? They're after that 10%. The remaining of those guys, the 90%, 60% or 65% of those guys out of the 90 haven't had sex in the past year. They have sex maybe once every year and a half, 2 years, if they're lucky. And those 60% of men support Pornhub and OnlyFans.
Not surprised.
So when you say 25 men, most men have not slept with 25 women. That's a very high number. By the time they're 30, that's a very high number. Because the average guy, like I just said, has sex maybe once a year.
But I know that in high school there are a lot of teenagers had like fun like once a week.
But keep in mind as well that it also depends on the crowd that you're with, right? So
True.
You might be with the cool crowd, and the crowd where the parents have money, so the kid's got a BMW, but he's in high school. That against the minority.
Yeah, I went to private.
There you go. So majority of the guys that are out there don't fall into that category. These are the guys that work at Subway. These are the guys that are, when you go to, if you take the, whatever, if you go to the GO train, or if you take the subway, he's a person that are cleaning shit up or whatever. These guys are not your typical guys who are driving sports cars and all that. That's not them. That's a very small percentage. But you might have been exposed to that because you went to a private school. But most of these guys, they're working at Home Depot. They're working at McDonald's. There might be a teacher somewhere or whatever it may be. So a lot of them are just average guys, and they're not getting laid every day. And they're certainly not getting laid with 2-3 different girls a year. If they get a girl, most relationships are ended by girls. Over 80% of relationships, women are the ones who initiate it, not men. If a guy has a girlfriend, he wants to keep that girl. He doesn't want to have to go back out in the field and look for a new woman. It was very hard to get one to even come along and to snare her and pull her into his apartment and get her to like him and deal with his bullshit, whatever, and for her to stick around. He doesn't want to go through that again. A high value man couldn't give a shit because he knows there's other women out there. But most guys, if they get a girl, if she, the boxes are checked off in 70%, that guy's like fucking happy. He wants to keep that girl. Even if she's overweight, they're like, I'll deal with this shit, whatever. I got a girl now. Women are the ones who initiate the breakup because they have options. So most of these guys, if they get a girl, they'll stay with her long term. If she wants to stick around, most of the girls are like, nope, there's better options for me. Goodbye. Right? So 25 body count for most guys, that's not the average guy. And if he's saying that, he's full of shit. Most guys, like I said, above 50% maybe get laid once a year, like with one girl. They don't have a new partner every month. That's most guys are not.
Go to club.
No, once again, that's the illusion they're making you think. I was in the club industry. That's the illusion that they make you think. So they may have hooked up with a girl and bought her some drinks, whatever, and that was it. Not sleeping with them.
Oh.
No, maybe the odd chance that might happen for a high value man. Yeah, that's gonna happen every night if he goes out to a club. There's certain girls who want to be in VIP, no problem. But the average guy that goes out to a club, he's not getting laid every week.
Okay.
No way. Do you agree with me, Cheyanne, on this?
I do.
Yeah, they might act that way.
I do, and honestly, if you do the math, you're better off getting an escort because then you get to pick. You probably pay less money, and then they leave the next morning on time. They're not like, oh, it's so
Oh, that's true. They don't have emotional.
Well, no,
No, the only connection is money.
that's
There
it.
you go. That's the difference.
That's what you pay for.
And imagine how damaged that girl has to be to not have an emotional connection at that time. That her connection's only money. Like that's just a different. Isn't that like a different breed? You're all women here.
It's not a different breed. You could shut off your feelings.
You think you can? You think all women can just have sex for money?
Oh no, I didn't say that.
That's what I'm talking
Talk about the ones that are making.
No, we're talking about money. Like, do you? That's the thing. That's a special
Oh no,
breed. Do you think that all women?
Yeah.
Business is business.
I don't know.
I don't know. No,
I think
I
the
couldn't
average
do it.
woman, no.
I couldn't do it.
No, I think most women value themselves.
Yeah.
You know, way more than that, just to give up what they have just for monetary gain.
And I'm not judging the people that do, because kudos for you for being comfortable enough in your body to being able to shut it off. But for me, I'm way too much of an emotionally attached person. I can't do it.
Oh, the ladies of the night. That's a.
Yeah, but you know what?
That's a completely different.
It's a different, yeah.
It is. I mean, to me, even like OnlyFans, it's night and day with the ladies of the night. I think there's just something online that's, you know, getting a different John, 5 Johns a day, and how is that not going to fuck you up psychologically?
Yeah, they probably need
drugs,
drugs
and alcohol.
Yeah.
To numb all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise, again, you're going against your DNA.
You're being used. Yeah.
Yeah. Carly, are you okay if we air this stuff about you?
It's fine.
Yeah? Okay, good. Just want to make sure.
You changed your mind. Just let them know.
I hesitated.
No, I think it's a great
Is
thing.
there anything I say that's
No,
inappropriate?
no, not inappropriate. I thought it was amazing.
Very classy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you opened up and
I think, listen,
As long as my parents don't see this, I'm fine with it.
you know, there's so many women online that brag now about how many men that they've been with. It's like a new trend on TikTok and Instagram where girls will talk, oh, I slept with 5 guys in one night.
No, you should
They'll
brag
talk about all the
about
details.
you only slept with one guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So that basically shows your value.
Yeah.
I'm a
Right?
high value woman now.
But that, you know what? In society, if you're a virgin, you're a nerd.
No, I was
That's-
always the popular girl in
But I'm saying
school.
that's girls have got so much pressure on them that if they haven't had sex, it means there's something wrong with them. That's what they want you to believe.
Something wrong.
And that's why, for some reason, it's kind of been accepted that most girls lose their virginity during their prom. It's like, what the fuck? Like, why is that like a norm now?
There's a poem that stayed with me when in high school that we read about this, just a short poem about some woman that was a spinster and had her virginity and passed away, and just all the bugs and the worms, got it. It's like, and
Oh my God. How old is this poem?
I don't know. Yeah, it was in the 70s, I guess.
Yeah, they're trying to.
So I just remember reading this poem, and it just made an impression on me.
That women who don't sleep with someone?
No, but that you save this precious part of you, and then the earth takes it anyway. And the worms.
That's not true at all.
No, it's not true, but I'm just saying.
I will tell you this, and this is for all the men out there. I don't know any fucking guy who's not going to agree with me. If a guy's able to meet a woman that's a virgin, and he is her first,
Wow,
and that he's able to marry her,
that's a diamond.
that's every guy's dream.
Yeah.
Chris, do you agree with what I just said?
Yeah.
Yeah, every guy's dream.
Yeah.
Every guy's, because he knows that she's pure,
Yeah.
and that her beauty and that secret garden of hers was only for him to fucking walk through. Every guy wants that. I don't think every girl wants a virgin. I don't agree with that because
I'm also his
they used to call me the virgin surgeon in high school.
Oh my God.
I swear, I was known until I met my boyfriend, took his virginity, and then I was with him for a very long time.
You're the virgin surgeon.
Virgin surgeon. Oh yeah.
How'd you get that title?
Because in the summer of grade 7 going into grade 8, I said, I'm not being that girl that doesn't know what I'm doing when I get to high school. And then there was a guy that I knew, and he was going from grade 8 to grade 9. So we decided to just do it together. And then I ended up doing it with my best friend, and he lost his after that. And then another guy, and then my boyfriend. So there was 4 people right before I got into high school. Bam, bam, bam. Took all all 4 of them. The best part was the guy that I first lost my, like the guy I lost my virginity to, I found out later that my dad lost his virginity to his mom. That's how small Bramley is. Not Brampton, Bramley. That's how small it is.
Perfect. Well, thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Wow.